You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on Deport from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shabaka'S going crazy. People going crazy in these motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing about a woman on a bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to kick us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7-no-meter. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Greetings, Black family, greetings. spotted near the scene of the crime was a burner phone, just another indication of the level of planning that went into this attack. Kirk and Andrea sources also telling our partners there at News Nation that they do not believe.
This is episode season 9, episode 47 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. We are rising with Shabaka in this age, and I'm your host, Terry Quinn. We are having open mic discussion of these crazy political times at the end of 2024, going into 2025. Burger King CEO of UNITEDHEALTHCARE shot and killed in Manhattan. Police say messages on cell casings suggest UNITEDHEALTHCARE CEO shooting was personal. Burger King tsunami warning in effect after 7.3 earthquake near Northern California. Chicago wants Mayor Brandon Johnson gone for his stance on illegal immigrants. NYC Mayor Eric Adams vows to quote, deport migrants. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson called out. Please call in with your questions, comments, or concerns. Call in numbers 516-418-5996. Press 1 and you'll be live on the air. This episode for those that are 18 years of age or older. This is episode 47 of season 9 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. This episode is also being simulcast on Streamline, YouTube, Frontline Black News. We got 2 callers. The air date of this program is December 6, 2024. Alright, so we got 2 people on the line with Sister Hasetsu and I believe Lady Chase. I'm going to unmute some mics. Grand risings and greetings from the Mile High Income City. Okay, it's probably the spam. Can you hear me now? Greetings, ladies. Greetings, Sister Hasetsu. Greetings, Lady Che. Hello. Okay. What are y'all thoughts on what do y'all want to talk about? Mic discussion. I just put some things up here to discuss about the CEO of UNITEDHEALTHCARE shot and killed in Manhattan. The earthquake in Northern California and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson being called out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Lady Che.
Try not to breathe. I'm so happy about that. So fucking happy. I just let him do it. Just let him do it. Let him do it. I care less about white product. For real. They're just cutting out their uterus and shaving their head and doing the most. And I'm like, cool, go for it. And in fact, I'm also like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. We all clap forward, encourage him in that manner. Go ahead. Sterilize yourself. Shave your motherfucking head. Do something stupid. I don't give a fuck. Whatever it takes. You like it, I love it. Fuck it, bro. And I don't know what we're talking about because I didn't hear the question. So, where's my link to the stream here, Jesse? You know you heard me because I asked you like 3 times already. In the email, like always.
I put it in the chat, Lady Cherry. Put it on the chat.
No, because take it out of the chat. You don't put it in the chat anymore, remember?
It is, Lady Cherry. It's
in
the chat, Lady Cherry. Just get it in the chat.
No, Jesse, there's a reason why we don't put it in the chat.
Oh my God. I put it
in the chat. On that. God, man, like, think of your age. Saturday or Friday. It's beautiful outside. I don't have a question, but I agree that, ultimately, I could really do without them. I watched a little documentary, not a documentary, but something I showed on my show the other day, and they were having a conference, and I think Jerry said that he wanted a whole separation, and I was like, cool, just wait, no, just wait. All your dreams will be coming true soon enough. All you white people go over there, wherever the fuck you want to go, take your little state and stay over there. Don't worry about it. All the black people come right back over here and do whatever black people do. Have fun in the mirror, your motherfucking punk ass. Don't worry, after you shall receive, as above, so below. They want to be separate so much and they want to sterilize themselves and they want to do the most. I'm like, cool, let's fuck it. It ain't in my highest divine good, but if you like it, I love it. I'm really glad these fucking white ladies, stupid white brides, want to cut their uteruses out and not breathe, all because of one man, one fucking president. You want to cut your whole uterus out. Go for it. I'm cool with that. That's less of the little devils born. I'm so good with that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I got the question. I didn't hear the question anyway. But what else was on the topic list? Because I didn't get
the
no
brother
notice.
that got killed in California.
What guy?
There was a brother that just got recently killed in California. Brother Che, do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, Brother Che, want to elaborate?
That wasn't the topic, but that wasn't the topic.
That's one of the things that you had mentioned, though, didn't you?
No, I said there was an earthquake.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't hear you very well because you're in and out, so I apologize about that.
It's this phone, this laptop. Yeah, there was an earthquake in California yesterday, and it caused a tsunami.
Oh, the earthquake, because there was a brother that got killed, but there was an earthquake, and we had just talked about that on a couple of nights ago. Remember about Surah 99?
Yep.
About the earthquake that was going to hit?
Yep.
Because in the Holy Quran, it talks about that. It talks about how the earthquake is going to take out the basically what it's going to do is the earth is going to purify itself of all of the negative entities on the earth that don't want to follow God and his plan for everybody, and he's going to take them out. Yeah. So let me see if I can find it in Surah 99 and read it again.
Sister Hesepsu is correct. It was a murder of a black man as well. Brandon Boyd. He was killed while he was on the steps of the courthouse.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, but I thought you was talking about him. I apologize. Let me read what it says in the Quran real quick. Al-Zilzal, the shaking, Surah 99, chapter 99. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. When the earth is shaken with her shaking, and the earth brings forth her burdens, and man says what has befallen her, on that day she will tell her news, as if thy Lord had revealed to her. On that day, men will come forth in sundry bodies, that they may be shown their works. So he who does an atom's weight of good will see it, and he who does an atom's weight of evil will see it. Al-Zilzal, the shaking.
Okay.
And we had just talked about that. And then, like, what happened 2 nights later? It had another earthquake, right?
Yep. Shabaka,
See what I'm saying? See how God works?
a mysterious.
He's magnificent
Well,
to me.
the earthquake is definitely a sign of the wrath of God. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then keep in mind is that place there that where the quake happened at, mainly in the northern part of California, is where they get more severe, is because the fault line, you see, goes right under downtown San Francisco, and it goes off at a slant. So
Yes,
when it goes past San Francisco, that's why it goes out there into the ocean. Like when you get up there off the coast of what is that there, Eureka, Santa Rosa. Wait a minute, I'm trying to remember some of the other towns that off of the coast of California. But it was to the north, and that means it also it hit Oregon as well too. Okay, but keep in mind is that Oregon, Washington State, Mount Shasta, that all those are volcanoes, and earthquakes are here volcanoes, even the ones they have in Japan, because Japan is known for earthquakes, and they call this here the Ring of Fire around the Pacific Ocean. You see, and then Alaska is known for them because Alaska, from what I understand, they had a real bad earthquake in 1964, and they had total devastation, which is 10. You see, so
yes,
the closer you get to 10, the more severe it gets. You see what I'm saying? And then they also have another thing is that they are generally near volcanoes. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Amen.
Mount St. Helens. Okay. Now I remember way back. Now this is for your younger son. Now I remember way back in 1980, which was 44 years ago. Let me see, 24 plus 20. Yes, 44 years ago. And I think that you could still pull it up online where there was a guy up there that took pictures of it where the volcano starts steaming, right? And all of a sudden it just blew up. And I passed Mount St. Helens, and it is flat as a pancake, And I says, wow, that's Mount St. Helens, because somebody pointed it out to me, you see. And it was awesome, all the ash kicked out and stuff like that, nature doing its thing. Mount Shasta in California is a volcano. Mount Rainier, Washington State is a volcano. Let me see. Okay, you got Mount Hood in Oregon, another volcano. Oh, boy. And then I've never been into Canada, so I would imagine that you would have volcanoes up around there too, but around the Pacific Ocean, this is what they call the Ring of Fire. You see,
right?
Because you'll have them in South America as well too. Mexico gets them. You see, Los Angeles damn sure gets them because I survived about 5 of them. You see what I'm saying? And whatnot. So the first thing you do when a quake hits, okay, first you pray. Okay.
Into that.
Okay, and you pray that that it stops, because what happens is it will start off real light, then it can get intense, and quakes that I've been into have lasted up to as long as 1 minute. You see? And he just sitting there, just scared to death, just watching the ground rumble and listening to the building fall apart and all that stuff, And I don't understand why these crazy bastards, that's corporate greed, that were putting nuclear power reactors on fault zones like they did in California with Santa. What was it? Santa No Free, I think, and they decommissioned it, you know what I'm saying? And they never should have had it up there in the first place, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have them in Japan. Lord knows you have them in China and in the Middle East, you know what I mean? Because you had a real bad one that happened over there in the Middle East, you see? And then, of course, you have some cultures that look at this, oh, this might be the devil. Then you have some cultures that says, oh, this is, you know, from the Almighty. Well, it's from the Almighty probably shaking your ass up, trying to wake you up to something, to some of the garbage that you do, you know. And what I mean by that is these government officials, these bureaucrats, these crooks, you know what I'm saying? Billionaires, you know, movers and shakers, you know, who really don't have the people's best interests at heart.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And I'm from San Diego, California, not necessarily LA, but a lot of my family lived in LA, Inglewood, Compton, you know, a little bit all over California.
Yeah,
and
I'm familiar with those places.
I experienced a couple of earthquakes, but not as bad as LA got. Because I heard some earthquakes so bad you could see the waves. Even San Francisco.
Oh, well, see, ma'am, the thing is you have to understand is that the San Andreas fault line runs directly under the city of San Francisco.
Right.
Okay? Like when they had the earthquake of 1906 that totally shattered San Francisco, they had to rebuild the town up. So that tells me that that guy every bit of about an 8.5, if not 10 itself. You see? Mm-hmm.
Well, we were taught in the Nation of Islam that an earthquake, according to the Quran, what I just read to you, the earthquake is going to hit first and disperse all the evil and purify itself of all the evil people on the earth. And then it's going to burn for 450 years. America is going to burn for 450 years for the 450 years of slavery that our black people were put into. So, you know, that means white people ain't going to be here no more.
Yeah,
they're just not going to exist.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And this is why they going through the process of effeminizing black men. You see what I mean? You know, to take out that spirit of standing up for yourself. You know what I mean? Got these Negroes all out here feminized, wearing skinny jeans and all this old type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking about that damn woman, you know, which is an insult into the sanctity of womanhood itself. You see? And I mean, this shit is ridiculous. I'm talking about, you know, a man with a beard on going around with a damn dress like Joshua, talking about, call me by my pronoun, call me by my pronoun. And all it is, and this is clearly a damn man. This is confusion. Yeah, say, well, you know, we're all the same. No, we are not all the same because black people do not come from that bullshit that is with the Greeks. You see? You know, so let me shut up on that so they don't pull the plug on us. But however, as I say, but hold on, no, but keeping it real, they do have their human rights and they do have their civil rights, but don't no man got a right to come up to me telling me he's the woman.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to say that. You know, they got their human rights and they got their civil rights, but they ain't got no right coming up to me, some dog-faced Joe telling me that he's a woman. No. The crack of your ass is not a woman's womb.
Everything comes in waves, you know. All this stuff comes in waves. This $1 trillion agenda comes in waves. You know, it like right now they're not really talking about it, but they're talking about it. not as heavy, but it was. You know, it comes in ebbs and flows. You know, what is odd is you got the white, you got the white supremacists marching through towns, and you got white brides talking about they want to cut out their uterus, like immediately, booking appointments and everything. So it's going through something really fucking ugly, and I'm just happy to watch it. I'm happy to watch everything fall apart and fail for them in any TV because I don't really give a damn anymore. They never gave a fuck. Why do we gotta give a fuck? Why do we gotta hold hands and what's gonna be okay? No, man, they will beyond be okay. They're not gonna be okay. And even if they were okay, it's not our job to worry about them.
You put them on. Yeah, you damn right about that because, you know, they control a lot of institutions themselves. But getting back to these natural disasters,
you know what I mean?
You see.
And they're really acting like somebody's gonna miss them if they don't get fertilized. They're like these fucking weird ass, ugly looking ass snowflakes, like really upset, you know, that they gotta do this over Trump, right? But it's like, who's gonna want to fucking fertilize any of that anyway? You know what I mean? It's like you're doing the world a favor. Now just get off of TikTok. We'd be out to the good if you just got off of TikTok without that bullshit. That's the thing. It's amusing.
Oh yeah. But another thing, what happens is with earthquakes as well too, is that they definitely gonna have to go out there and shut down that Bay Bridge to inspect it. You see what I mean? So once again, for those of you living up there in the Bay Area, you know, y'all might have to be driving all the way from San Francisco to San Jose, drive up on the east side to get to Oakland. They shut down the what do they call that? The transit system that goes under Frisco Bay. The BART trains, they shut them down. You see, because they got to go inspect the whole system. You see what I'm saying? And not only under the bay, but you got overhead trestles on it as well too. You see, and it took them like about 25 years to build that BART project. You know, it really did. So they got to check on all the
What's up, fellas? Been here too. On mute, letting Shabaka talk. Grand Rising.
Right there,
I'm in a kind of good mood, even though horrible things happened yesterday and continuously happen today. So, that I'm in a kind of giggly, high spirit for some odd reason.
Up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Let you know
terrible things happened yesterday.
And it damn sure ain't you crooked ass politician, you see. Oh yeah. So then too, what you also got to look out for too is the aftershocks. Yeah, having some coffee to wake up.
One person that didn't make it, and what happened? Yeah, because I mean, I didn't see anything yet about it, so I was kind of wondering. Well, you know that I knew there was I didn't know there was an earthquake, and you know, it's kind of like, well, that's it.
Yeah, because that's what I called Jesse for yesterday, and I did put it up there on Facebook when the people was having the hurricanes down there in the south. Okay, I said I got a weird feeling that a quake is getting ready to hit California, and I'll be a SOB if it didn't. See, now, for those who are in the hurricane region, okay, you guys have advance notice, you know, because you got your weather patterns and seeing how it's coming, so you get a chance
to make it home till God knows when.
You get a chance to prepare
really
yourself for the impact.
And then it just continues to get
worse.
However, I'm so fucking cold that my body hasn't yet to thaw out. I was outside. That fucking cold.
It's unpredictable.
Like literally.
So be sure not to drink water.
Feet,
because
hands,
water
my ears still cold. I was fucking cold. And
Okay, you know, so you can have all kind of things in your water, fish, shit,
I know exactly what I want to do, but I'm tired of it.
you know, just say about every foul thing imaginable that's going to be in your water.
I'm supposed to leave a little bit or do something.
So if you got your water purifiers, put them to work. So what you should be doing right now, if they didn't start doing it yesterday, is start bum rushing, buying up all the water, all bottled water. Buy it, take it, you know, barter with it. You see, is because you're going to need the water for your sanitation, for your very survival. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm. And an earthquake is not something. But keep in mind is that an earthquake is not something where you sit up there and sing, "We shall overcome." No, 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 no. You don't sing that, people. What you do, you go out there and you get you some essentials of what you need: canned food, water. You say, shut off your gas lines. Yeah, saying, huh? Yeah.
Like, you know, all this last 2 years, all kinds of our little weather events have happened all over, you know? And it's just a sign. It's just a sign.
Well, like Sister was telling you out of the scriptures right there. Oh yeah, it's gonna get worse than this, Lady J. You got earthquakes, you're gonna have severe weather, you got mad disease, you got a bunch of confused ass motherfuckers running around here. You see. Yeah, you see, and look at the regime that's getting ready to come into play. Huh?
Let's talk about that. Flooding in the desert.
Yeah, you see,
weird events. And even if it's the end of days, I mean, it's been the end of days for like 24 years now. And when we go back to like, 2000. It's been the end of times, and it's not really the end of times, or is it just reset? I mean, but if you look back metaphysically, we've been talking about, Black people have been talking about, I would say Black people have been talking about a reset for the last 6, 7, 8 years steadily. You know what I mean? We're supposed to wake up and reset. You know what I mean? And we're in the age of this and the time of that. You know what I mean? And so we've been talking about it for a while. Black people have. They're on this whole, great erasure or whatever the fuck they're talking about. But they, they're not on the same vibrational levels. So I think it's just all good. Look, it just happened. Look at all the motherfucking hurricane shit and that happened. Over there in down south.
Ladies say those are what they call the elements. You see. See, those are the elements from the Almighty, the weather, the disease, okay, the earthquakes. You see, he's letting you know who's in charge.
According to the Supreme Wisdom,
yeah, go ahead, Sister.
In the Supreme Wisdom in the Islam, we're taught that earthquakes are caused by the Son of Man, who is the law of God. In fact, that'll be above is caused by the Son of Man.
Okay.
And so what I wanted to add to that was the messenger taught us not to worry, even at our best not to worry, because we need not have fear for the future. The fear is only for the devil. And those So he said, even in the message of the Black man, he said, we have no fear for the future.
Okay.
And then he laid out in a couple of his other books, like the book that I showed to you the other night, The Fall of America.
Right.
He said the white race was made for the purpose of deceit. As the Bible teaches, even the Bible teaches about them. The Bible teaches us God will pull the covering off of the covered and show the nations his white race's shame. That's in Nehemiah 3:5.
I don't know what happened.
You listen in the Bible.
I think I got lost.
You want to know something?
My whole thing just dropped.
Message to the black man. Because when the heavyweight champion, in his youth, was going through his turmoil with his legal troubles, that's what he held up right there that he was showing the press, was the message to the black man.
Message to the Black Man is one of the most popular books among black people today, 2024.
Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely. And I'm going to read through it, you know what I'm saying? And I hope our young men read through it as well, too, is because, all these pro athletes, you guys are making all this money. And I don't understand why you all are not sitting up there pooling your resources, forming your own leagues. I mean, look at the talents that you got. I mean, I could go on and name great talent in the NFL, from Jim Brown to Walter Payton, to Warren Moon, you know what I'm saying, to Patrick Mahomes. Oh, man, I could just go on and on with the talent that we have that came out the NFL. And you mean to tell me these brothers cannot pool their resources and start our own league? And then with the talent level that we have, everybody in the whole world will come see us.
Oh, man.
Like when Ali defended the heavyweight crown, the whole world took the day off to watch him fight.
They got the knowledge and the tools to do it.
Yeah, that's precisely my point. But then they probably going to sit up with some brother with a beard in the dress. Oh, man, let's see, I love everybody, man. You know what I mean? I don't see cars, shooting nigga, killing nigga, you know what I mean? You see how twisted they got our youth right now with that bullshit.
Big time, they sure do.
You see what I'm saying? But all these other groups, which I do not have a problem with, are teaching their children how to build, accumulate wealth, and all that. And even Dr. Boyce Watkins has said that. But then, when you have great minds like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who you got the brain dead, the educated brain dead, the miseducated brain dead, elders, Leo Terrells, Thomas Sewells, Skip the Truth Gates. You see what I mean? And then these hand-picked puppets these are your representatives right there. And then I got to do some more reading up on,
I tell you what, I'm going to tell you. Oh, man, now I forgot what the fuck I was going to tell you.
Wait, somebody echoing back there.
What to do with the book? Oh, God, I forgot what it was. I was sitting here trying to get your attention this whole time, and I forgot. Damn it. Carry on. It'll come back to me.
All right. So therefore,
I remember that. So, I read Ice Cube's contract to Black America, right? And in that contract, Black America, right, there's detailed ways of going about getting paid. Going about getting fair and equal treatment and paid as a sports player, breaking off, having your own teams, with black players, because majority was black, if I remember correctly. Majority of sports is black, but they're owned by white, the players, right?
You talking about now, Lady Ch, let me make sure I understand you. Okay, you talking about like major league teams like the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA?
Yeah, the NBA.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, you are correct. Is that the majority, if not all these teams, in the sports that you are mentioning, are owned by non-blacks? Yes, ma'am, you are correct about that. Okay, but what they got to do is start pooling resources to either buy these teams or to develop teams to compete with them and smash them fairly. You see, because, you know, when it comes to sports, people only look at winners, okay? Don't nobody give a damn about no losers and nothing. You see what I'm saying? Okay.
That's programming. That's programming to, you know, another exploitation of the gifts of the melanated. You know what I mean? That's programming.
Right, but what it is, though, sister, is... Okay, but you see, but if you look at the highest amount of programming in my almost 70 plus years of being on this planet, right, happens in the Black community. You see what I'm saying? Okay.
Yes.
It happens in the Black community, just like the programming they've been having on us on the plantation systems.
Like another way to sell the melanated to sell melanated. It's like I don't know how to explain it right. I don't know how to explain it because I smoked some weed earlier. I got the giggles, so forgive me. But I don't know how to explain it the way I want to say it. It's like somebody programmed it and then sold them. You know what I mean? And then when they're no good no more, you know,
oh, you kick them to the curb. When they're no good no more, sister, they kick them to the curb like garbage.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They end up getting, nobody cares about them if they get their brain damaged. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. They're just like, well, fuck it. You need you no more. We got Joe Blow over here, you know? That's just crazy. They're grooming them. They do all kinds of crazy shit. You know, so I liked it. I liked that he addressed it because this is one of those things he was always talking about. You know what I mean? In the sports realm. Forgive me, man. I feel like I'm not making any sense right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to say it, but I just think that they deserve better. They all deserve better. Well, just, you know, especially the Black ones, definitely deserve better because they don't get treated right. They don't get treated. The contracts don't treat them right, and they're owned like it's just another form of slavery. You see what I'm saying? When you're owned, you're not free. They're not free to move around. They're under contracts and shit, and then they get traded and like that whole football shit just bothers me. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, see what happens. Okay, see what happens with these contracts. Okay, see what happens with these contracts, ladies, is that they make them ambiguous. You know, big 50-cent words and all this old type of stuff. And generally, when the athletes are coming up, they're supposed to have what they call agents who's supposed to be representing their best interests. But a lot of them are shady too. But the sad part about it is, and then people are welcome to call in and disagree with me at 516-418-5996, okay? Which is, okay, and which is like Sister Hesepshit was saying, is that a lot of these brothers need to be educated in business before they go out there and sign these contracts. But the white man knows that they're young. Then they know that they want to go out there and get with some of these barbecue Beckys that take their money and tear them down. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. They set the stage for them.
I barely tell them to somebody when they're like, get a lawyer, get somebody that is going to represent your best interest when you just in the high school, showing that you got talent and you want to, you know, take your family out of poverty or whatever, you know what I mean? Like they used to do, or do something else. I think somebody needs to be looking out for the interest from the time.
Oh, you're right, Lady J. You are absolutely correct on that.
It's not met. Their college, their education ain't met. All they're there is to do sports slave labor, you know, for white people's entertainment and everybody else's entertainment. Yes, I know fellas, y'all like football and whatnot, but you know, let's really look at it. You see who's watching football. You know what I mean? And it's terrible. You're watching like your own people's demise at the same time as trying to be competitive, and you know, it's a revolving cycle. You know what I mean? And
Right,
I like about boxing.
Okay, but you're right, Lady Ch. But that's why the heavyweight champion of the 1960s, okay, who was doing an interview, and let me see, and I think one of his fights fell through. But he said, no, I'm going to, this one contender who I offered to fight to, he wouldn't take it, or he didn't get back with us soon enough. But I'm going to give it to this other, the opportunity to this other man, is because, see, these other guys, they train hard too, and they got families to take care of. They deserve a shot at the title. And then at that time, the heavyweight champion of the 1960s and 70s, I'm not going to say his name, but you all know who I'm talking about. This is why he, will let brothers come up there and make some money. You see what I'm saying? Because they've been in there, and he was a drawing card. You see, he would come up there and let them make money, you see, and they hated him. The more they hated him, the more we loved him, and that's how he made revenue, for his tickets, you see. And then, of course, that I've argued with online about with various individuals, well, excuse me, he was just a showman and all that. He did that to sell tickets, yeah. But what it is you have to understand that when he sold his tickets, they did not pay to see him win. They came and paid to see him get his ass whooped, and he had turned him down about 98% of the time. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what?
Yeah.
Can I make a comment about something you said? So you said he was hated upon, right? You said people hated on him. I want to get into that a little bit because hatred, and I remember, and we have a book called The Study Guide. And in that study guide, the Honorable Mentor Louis Farrakhan wrote about rising above emotion to the thinking of God. And in the dictionary, emotion is defined as an affective state of consciousness in which joy, sorrow, fear, hate, and whatnot, and so on and so forth, is experienced. And jealousy and envy, as distinguished from cognitive and volitional states of consciousness. And so emotion is actually an intensified feeling. And if you look at the word emotion, I came up with this personally, it's energy in motion. So your energy is going into motion. And one of the main things that the slave master was successful in doing, I got to say it, is he put envy and jealousy into Black people amongst each other. Not just among him, amongst each other. And that is
Malcolm X taught you that.
And that's the main thing that is dividing us is that envy and jealousy. And people won't pray about it or nothing. Just keep it and they keep going. And it's like, don't you see what you're doing to yourself? Because while you sitting at home worried about sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so, they're at home eating their bean pie and cakes. And you're at home causing cancer in your heart about the envy and jealousy towards your own brother. So you're really killing yourself. You're killing yourself with your envy and jealousy. And then you also kill that brother because you kill his spirit, because when what comes out of your mouth towards him is always negative, and her too. Sisters too.
Yeah.
That envy and jealousy got to go. It gets on my nerves.
Oh, absolutely. And this is why that there was a couple of contenders that the heavyweight champion at that time defended against. One of them, he referred to him as the Rabbit. The Rabbit is going to get up there on the news and say that I'm taking the heavyweight championship from Cassius Clay for the American people. Well, we saw what happened with that guy. We saw what happened with that guy. First of all, he never should have called him by the slave name number one. So he got humiliated, you know what I'm saying? Then of course the one about a year earlier who says, well, tell Clay to get off the scale for the next heavyweight champ. What happened to that guy?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, the infamous line of "What's my name?" Pow, ping. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Just hating. For no reason. And then he didn't do anything to deserve that. He didn't do anything to himself.
And then the man, you know what I'm saying, is that he was a young man with an exceptional skill. Huh?
It's not something you come with naturally. I mean, I think jealousy, envy, whether it be men against women, I think it's a learned thing. I don't think that people naturally come in, especially high level thinkers, Pharisees, anything like that come into the world with a certain level of light and vibration. I think they naturally have those kind of skills that learned experience, learned behaviors due to like some sort of traumatic shit, traumatic comments, and it's terrible because it shows lack of confidence in yourself or in your higher self, actually. So when people do that, you're always worried, especially when it's against you. You're always worried, like, why the fuck you so jealous of? Well, I ain't got nothing, but it's just your energy. It don't even matter. The energy you come in the world with, that people can't stop fussing with you, whether it be good or bad. You come into the world with a certain type of energy, and sometimes that energy is just always being messed with. Other people can just get on by, There's random few that, that deal with it because they came in the world with this energy. It's not something they could change. They came in the world with a light or a vibration that just, exudes that they can't help it. They're not doing it intentionally, they're not doing it on purpose, but it's so intoxicating that people don't like it because it's either it's one or the other. You can either tolerate it or you make it so contentious that that person with all that light and energy will just not want to exist no more because that's all they feel is the negative vibrations coming from all these entities that just don't understand the vibrations they came in the world with. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came out with this book that I was talking about called The Study Guide, Self-Improvement, the Basis for Community Development. And it talks about how to expel envy and jealousy from your soul and from your body. And he goes into a study guide called Rising Above Emotions into the Thinking of God. So we got tools to avoid these types of feelings and to avoid these types of lifestyles, but a lot of our people don't want to follow it. Now, I don't know what the feeling envy feels like, but I have been jealous before. And just thinking about what jealousy does, it made me want to vomit because I didn't like the feeling, but I could imagine what envy feels like because I heard it's worse. So, but if you get into the book and the guides of the Messenger and Farrakhan, they teach you how to deal with that emotion. It's like there's no excuse to just carry that on for the rest of your life until you die.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I read it too. I'm well versed on it, but I think it is this. It's like this types of envy that aren't necessarily negative. Like for example, I could see a really pretty sister, right? Really well dressed and everything. She just feels. I was like, man, you look really good today. And I envy this energy for a second. And nothing malicious. It's just a little bit of like, whoa, it's a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Most people could just say, like, look, I'm feeling some kind of way. The feelings I got towards you are negative or malicious. Or, hey, and I feel like I'm kind of jealous of you right now, the good way, though. You know what I mean? And those are kind of things that are easily expressed and not, like, those are learned behaviors. And so a lot of things will come into that. You'll come into that with that in your spirit. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but all of the
Farrakhan and everything's work. And not just to mention, like, I read the Quran and stuff like that. I just think that all these things are self. This is something like, Malcolm X talking about have to hate yourself. So it's all self stuff. It's all, everybody works on themselves. You know what I mean? It has to be like
Yeah, well, work on yourself. It was that I just don't think that it's good to hold on to being a certain way forever when you have the room and the light to grow and to change, because your spirit is supposed to evolve. It's not supposed to stay stagnant forever. And if you have the tools in front of you to grow, there is nothing wrong with getting rid of some of that old dirt that comes from the past. Like I said earlier, like the minister teaches that envy is the mother of all murder. If you hold on to envy for too long, you can wind up murdering somebody. I heard that one of the, I'm not going to say no names, but I heard that one of the superstars, one of the big superstars, a Black woman, killed a sister out of envy and jealousy. See, that's what I'm talking about, because if you hold on to it for too long, it causes murder. It does. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you kill a person physically. You can kill their reputation by talking bad about them out of your mouth. It just comes out because you haven't dealt with, you haven't even tried to pray it away or nothing. You just hold on to it and say, oh, well, maybe it's okay. No, it's not okay. To me, it's not okay to feel like that towards a person, because it's not fair to the innocent people who don't do anything. You deserve to be treated like that because of a way that you feel and an emotion that you don't want to change. It's not their fault. They're just being themselves.
Yeah.
I've had people come across me certain ways. I had a white man attack me out of nowhere, the envy and jealousy. And to this day, he's probably in hell because I beat him almost to death. I think he died. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't hold on to grudges and feelings like that forever. Because of a certain type of way that you feel envy and jealousy, they don't deserve that, because eventually you're going to mistreat that person. They're going to get what they don't deserve. It's not right.
Correct.
Yeah, well, you see, this is why in some philosophies, when it comes to conflict, it says it's better to avoid than check. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is better to avoid.
Yeah.
I always avoid conflict. But at that time, that white man attacked me out of nowhere. And I had to fight back, because I'm talking about life. If I hadn't fought back, he would have killed me. And so it went the other way. He died. He wound up dying the next day. He didn't die right away, but he died.
Well, that's self-defense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what happens is that the ethos of America, which is a group psychology, you know what I'm saying, is that the group psychology of America, when it comes to us as a people, that you're supposed to abuse us, kick us, you see, batter us, and we're supposed to sit up there, yassa boss, we shall overcome.
Okay.
You see what I mean? And then on top of it, we're not supposed to offer any type of resistance whatsoever. Why do you think the police go in there and kill unarmed Black people and get off?
Yeah, that's
see what I mean?
That is true.
Okay, look what they did with Sonia Massey. Killed that woman in her home, okay? An elderly sister talking about, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, okay? And then the police goes, shoots her in the face and kills this woman. And then the cops investigate them. Oh, we saw we didn't do anything wrong. That is an act wrong within itself. And what you have right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a state-sanctioned homicide of a Black person. Because the state did not do its job. You see what I'm saying? They did not incarcerate this murdering bastard who went there and murdered this woman. You see what I'm saying? Who was no threat. Okay? She was by some hot water and all that, then you a coward. If you a damn man and gonna sit up there and say that you killed this woman who was elderly because she was by some hot water and you shot her dead center mass in her brains, you're a coward.
Amen.
See, that's what you is. You's a coward. You hide behind a badge, but then again, the police ain't nothing but policy enforcers anyway. Well, you know, they do other groups of people like that. We do not care about other groups. It's because other groups care about themselves that they're not going to go for it. This is why we care about our people, and every time that we sit up there and talk about, well, we're doing something stricter for our people. Well, you guys are racist. Racist? No. We're in no position
Shabaka. Hello. Shabaka.
What?
Hello.
Yeah.
Shabaka.
Yeah.
Calm down a little bit now. You know that cop got indicted, don't you? He got indicted on 5 counts. 3 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated battery with a firearm, 1 count of official misconduct. He's in jail without bail. He is awaiting trial. You do know that, don't you? And the woman was 36 years old. 36 years old is not elderly.
No, Sarge. The woman was like 65. We're talking about the Sonia Massey case, Sarge. You gotta get your police brutality cases in order, Sarge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's not. So they let him bound out, right? So which means is I'm quite sure that some of his cronies and homies
in jail. When did he get bailed out?
I think they just. What are you talking about?
Oh, yesterday. Wait a minute, yesterday. Oh, well, that's something new to me. Well, I didn't know about that. Well, he made bail. That means he's got to wait to stand trial. He's been indicted and charged with offense. He's going to trial for murder.
Okay,
First-degree murder, 3 counts.
Okay, but what case is this that they speak of, son?
Sonia Massey, you got indicted July 17th, 2024.
I'm down. I'm down, sorry.
Okay.
Jesus.
The incident happened on July 6th. He got indicted 11 days later.
Okay. I
mean, can we have a few facts in here?
Sarge, we always got facts. We got facts all the time.
Damn, man. I mean, okay, I understand it was outrageous, but damn, they moved to act against the guy. What do you want him to do?
I'd give his ass the death penalty. Put him in a hot seat.
Okay, well, look, I hate to tell you this, but you know what? It doesn't matter who murders who.
Nothing to do with his ass as long as I kill the bastard of what he did. That'll be justice. You know, put him in front of a firing squad with the judge there saying, it's this time for you to be kicked off the planet like they used to hang people out here in the Wild Wild West, you know, at 12 o'clock that you're going to be executed. And they need to do it a minute early for his ass.
An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, just like the Quran and the Bible state.
Right. I mean, can't get shot in the face. I mean, that's fair. Can you throw some hot water on the floor and shoot him in the face? I'm just saying. That's the devil. He was the devil. She saw him change. He's the devil.
Just due process. We will determine that at the trial. That's what it's for.
Sarge, you and I both know that we go to kangaroo courts are going to go up there to try to figure out every type of way to let this son of a bitch walk. You know what
okay, so why don't we just take him out and lynch him then? You want to do that? Is that what you want to do? Say that's what I want to do.
That's what they need to do to our people. Look at him and
okay, so that's what you want to do then. Is that right?
What's right? It's called justice, right?
Damn, man, that's why we got due process to find out the answers to these things.
Sarge, once again, I'm driving down Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm looking at this eyesore here called Jump Tower. I thought you said, Sarge, you was going to write a letter here to Las Vegas to have to start bouncing a wrecking ball off this place.
All right. Look, I see you want to change the subject, but I'd like to stick on the subject of the killing of Sonia Massey. And I'd like to go into great detail about it if you'd like to, because I'm very familiar with the case now. I'm very familiar with this case, and you can't bamboozle me.
Well, sorry. Our people in America have been bamboozled. We've been had. We've been took. We've been hoodwinked.
You see how you keep changing the subject? That's what you got to do. You know I got your ass cornered. Yeah, you're changing the subject. You're changing the subject, man. I got you cornered. You know it.
No, I'm not changing the subject, Sarge. You got that voice, Sarge. I'm putting myself on mute. Come on with it, Sarge.
All right, once again, the man was rapidly indicted. An indictment on a murder charge in 11 days is pretty damn quick, especially of a police officer. So now he has to be accountable in a court of law for murder and manslaughter. Now, I don't know what you're supposed. What do you want to do? You want to take him out and lynch him?
Yes.
Did they do that? Hey, did they do that? Did they do that to Jose Ibarra, who murdered that woman in Georgia? No, they gave him a trial. Yeah, man, I'm saying, hey, we ain't descended to that level yet. I hope.
Shabaka.
Okay, thank you, man.
Yes, nothing is going to change the fact and the truth that the police organization and the government is sending our people into the hereafter early. And they've been doing this for years and years and years.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Years and years and years. Okay, how many black people are killed every year by the police? Do you have an idea?
I'm sure that it's more than 100. Because
it's more than 100. Yeah. Now how many? Now, so again, you don't know how many then. You know it's more than 100, and I agree, it is more than 100. Now, how many of them do you think are killed without proper legal justification and or ethical justification? How many do you think there are in that category? Is every single one of them an unjustified victim? Answer me that, please.
There is no excuse for taking the life of any black
Okay, I see that's not my question. I asked a very specific question. Apparently, you don't want to answer it. Can I try it again? Can I try it again?
Your Huckleberry, what's the question?
See, you ask me a question, I always answer it. I never evade it. Never. Let me ask the question again, so maybe you didn't hear me correctly. So let me ask again. Out of the people who are killed by the police every year, how many of them are legally and ethically unjustified?
About 95%.
God, man, there's no fucking statistical facts. They don't tell us all the truth all the time. Come on now. Let's think outside the box. Hold the coin off right here. Maybe I should call back in.
Yeah, that is correct.
That's correct. Now, see, you said that. I said, yeah, that's correct. You got the numbers right. Now, again, what concerns me is not whether or not, well, it does concern me when people get killed. I don't like people get, I spent 24 years in the police. I didn't kill anybody. I came close to it, but I didn't. Now, I am concerned. I even didn't kill people. I had legal cause to do it. I preferred to try another way to make the arrest. Now, let me tell you something. This hits me where I live. I live this shit. Now, listen to me. Wait a minute, listen to me. Now, again, it doesn't, even though the loss of human life, even a scumbag piece of shit, is regrettable, but nonetheless, there's no way I'm going to shed tears over it when somebody has done something to warrant the use of deadly force against them because they threaten or imperil someone's life. I'm not going to do it. You can do it if you wish. Now, the question to me is not whether or not they are killed, since they have been killed. The question for me is whether or not it was morally, legally, and ethically justified. And if those conditions are satisfied, then I'm willing to live with it. Apparently, you are not.
What warranted that? What warranted that? What warrant did
Okay,
that man
Sarge. First
say you
place,
gonna shoot
Sarge,
in the face?
as you know, you and I have had this debate before. We're going to have it again. The police are policy enforcers. The police evolved from slave patrollers. You know it, and I know it. Okay? So what it is that ethos of hatred and animosity toward black people is inherent in their training. Like when they go on a pistol range, why is the silhouette always black? I can't hear you, Sarge.
Because it stands out against a white background, that's why.
Yeah,
I was a firearms instructor. I know the rationale for these things.
Sarge.
Guess what,
How come they don't make the silhouettes white? They make them black.
Because paper is white, and they do make them white, by the way. They have different colors. They got the K7 target, the K10 target. They have different colored backgrounds and different silhouette outlines and colors. In fact, nowadays they are now using targets with the different different rings that are set up with actual human figures imprinted on them, and not just silhouettes.
Oh my God!
Remember, I was a firearms instructor.
Okay, I understand that, Sarge. So tell us, in your expert opinion,
There is nothing
you do not feel that race does not have anything to do with it, not to mention the fact that the police evolved from slave patrollers, Sarge.
Okay.
So you don't think that ethos carried on down from generation to generation?
You ask me a question, and I will answer it. Again, it's only vague questions. You ask me a question, let me answer them. All right, the question is, does race play a role? Yes, of course it plays a role. When you see someone, you immediately make an assumption about what race they are. If you have eyes to see and a brain that is cognitive, you're going to make a decision about what race they are. Now, here is the question. Not whether it impinges or whether it matters in your perception. The issue is whether or not you take action based solely upon a person's race. Now, that is something that is difficult to determine as well, isn't it? Because then you got to be a mind reader, or you got to have some other objective evidence to determine whether or not the person who's doing the action has made a perception and done an action based solely on the basis of race. And that's what's so insidious about this, because it's easy to make, will you let me finish? It's easy to make anything up.
Don't blow anything. Sarge.
Well, wait a minute, see, I'm answering the question and I'm not rambling.
All right, Sarge.
All right, so let me say it again. Let me say it again. The only way you could determine whether or not someone has made an illegal and unconstitutionally discriminatory action against someone as a law enforcement officer based upon the issue of race is whether or not there is objective evidence to show you have reason to believe that individual person made a decision based on that person's race. And usually you don't know unless you're a mind reader. Sometimes you can tell based on other evidence, like testimonial evidence to other people, or evidence in writing, or things like that. But you cannot just assume it.
But Sarge,
Dare we ask what happened?
Well, see, the problem is this.
Okay, now you just introduced evidence, Che. You see what you just did there? Now you just did evidence to make us understand whether or not this individual did that. See the difference when you introduce evidence of it rather than just assuming it? Well, assume, the word assume. Ask, you, me. That's what assume is often. Make an ass out of you and me. So I'm just saying, what you got to do is you cannot make these conjectural speculations about someone's guilt, which would take away their liberty, or maybe even put them in death row. That's what you complain about all the time, isn't it?
I think the only reason why a person should have the death penalty for a crime is if they have raped somebody. Okay, now that's not always the case today. Let me finish. Today, that's not always the case. When it comes to the black man and the black woman, they just kill them just to be killing them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
See, okay, this is the problem. You see a police officer that kills a black man. The reason he killed that black because he just wanted to kill the black man. See what I mean? This is
the reason
what we
why
have.
I said that.
This is the failure to communicate.
There's a reason why
failure to communicate.
Yeah. You see
someone.
Wait a minute. Let me finish. Let me finish what I was gonna say. The reason why I said that is because the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan taught us that today the KKK has joined the police force, and they are shooting black men and black women because they are black. You cannot say that I'm lying, and you cannot say it's a failure to communicate. It's true. In fact, look it up and look at the statistics.
Look it up.
Yep. Like the LA County Sheriff.
So you can't just sit there and be like a failure to
Okay, I thought the KKK never left the police department. Now you're saying the KKK is just now joining the police. I thought you guys told me it was all there all along. It never left. What, they got all of a sudden now they just started joining the police department?
What I'm saying is that they're coming out with their devilishment in 2024 without any resentment. They don't care anymore. They're just coming out and doing whatever the hell they want to do. Before, they didn't come out with it like that, like they are today, because they knew they would get busted and in trouble.
Okay.
But
Let me pose a hypothetical to you then. Okay, good. All right, I understand that. Let me pose a hypothetical to you.
You can agree to disagree.
I'm asking hypothetical of you, and I want you to consider this. Let's say you got a police officer that is a thorough, dyed-in-the-wool, the pointy hat wearing Grand Kleagle of Ku Klux Klan. That's what he is. And he's a police officer, and he's on duty. Is it possible that racist bastard of a Ku Klux Klansman could be confronted with a situation where he might have to use deadly force, and that use of it be eminently and legally justified? Is it possible, or is it impossible?
That is possible, but the case that I am concerned about is the case between a black man and a black woman. I feel like they're using excuses to kill them in 2024. Because every day I look up on the news, somebody new was dead from the LAPD, Denver, everywhere. And it's always somebody pitch double time black.
Okay.
So you cannot say that that's not the truth.
All right. I want everybody in the United States to understand this, and they should understand this. Your police department is under your control.
No, it's not.
Through the people whom you elect, are supposed to make the police department accountable to the citizenry that they serve. And if they're not, there's something wrong with your political system.
Okay, you're living, Sarge. Can I say something real quick, Shabaka, and then I'll let you speak? You're living in the past. That's the past. Because the term for the police, La Policia, they used to use that term for which was supposed to be to protect and serve. That's what the police was supposed to be about, to protect and serve, not no more. I would never call 911 for nothing. I would just have to die in a fight.
Okay, we do understand that most of the police departments in the United States, because remember, there are about 3,300 or more counties in the United States, of which there are cities, and you got 17,000 separate state and local law enforcement jurisdictions. The overwhelming majority of them do not have the problems you keep describing here. This problem is localized in a few places where Democrats run the damn city.
Okay, let me respond to that.
I know you guys don't want to acknowledge that, but I'm going to do it.
Let me respond to that, you guys. What I wanted to say about that was that I have been a victim of discrimination from the cops. more than I have been a victim of discrimination from anybody else. And I've been in situations where I've been attacked. I've been in situations where I've been disrespected, and I had to call the cops for disturbance of peace. And you know what they did? They did the turnaround on me. Well, it's your fault. Get the hell up out of my house. Because I called you to help me. And you're going to say it's my fault because I'm Muslim and I'm black. Go home.
Look, I am not about to speak on any individual case that I know nothing about. I know nothing of your interaction with the police. I cannot make a judgment on them. All I can do is listen to what you say. So I'm not going to make a comment one way or the other about your interaction with the police other than to know what you say about them, because I cannot contradict them or affirm them. What I am going to do is say that the overwhelming majority of the over 17,000 different state and local police departments do not have anything near the kind of public perception problems that you continually describe here on this show. That's what I'm going to say, and I stand by that.
Well, I'm going to have to agree to disagree. Now, can we move on?
Well, no. If Shabaka wants to move on, I'm telling you, I'm ready to stand on this because I've heard all this stuff. I've seen with my own eyes anecdotal evidence. I've looked up corroborative evidence in the record, and I'm sorry, it's distorted. It's wildly distorted because of the way these Democrats run these big cities.
Okay, sorry.
Well, Sarge, what I want to let you know is that as much as you like to argue, I'm not going to argue with it about it. All I know is facts.
It's not an argument, man. You make a point, I make a counterpoint. I'll let people make up their own minds. I'm not going to tell anybody what to think.
Well, I'm
you say something, I say something in response. That's what I do.
I'm going to have to leave it at this. I'm going to have to agree to disagree. I have my own concept. You have your own perception. That's fine.
That's good.
Okay.
That is the way it should be. But again, there are facts at play that cannot be ignored, and they should be taken into account too.
Yes, this is racism. Mark Furman, Daryl Gates. Let's see. The crooked cops, man, that you had back there in New York City.
Democrat.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. Then also, too, in the great state of Illinois, Cook County.
Democrat.
Yeah, that you're familiar with. You see what I mean?
Chicago, and Democrat.
Okay, but Sarge. The
Pritzker, governor, Democrat.
Okay.
Brandon Johnson, mayor, Democrat.
Okay, but Sarge.
Cook County, Cook County Commissioner, Democrats.
Okay, but Sarge.
Is there a pattern here? Can we allow to see it?
Okay, but I see another pattern too, Sarge. I've seen a pattern for the last 50 years, Sarge. You know, it's just like, as we stated before.
Los Angeles, Democrat.
No, Los Angeles.
Hey, you want me to keep going? Are you going to argue with me that's not true?
Okay,
what are you going to do?
Sorry. One thing that you're not going to do, okay? You're not going to argue with me about the police enforcement agencies of Los Angeles. Okay?
Hey, I've agreed with you about them. I don't know how many times. We've talked in depth about the corruption of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Okay, but Sarge,
I'll give you a big argument about that.
Policy enforcers. These are not law enforcement officers, Sarge. They enforce policy. Okay, the police are policy enforcers that evolved from slave patrollers, Sarge. Okay.
Well, in California? California's never even a slave state.
Sarge, okay, let me put it to you this way, Sarge. Let's say that you and I was on a plantation, okay? I'm the field Negro, Sarge. You're the house Negro. I come up to you and say, Sarge, let's escape. Let's run away. Let's get from this evil master. We heard there's gold in California. You know what you're going to say, Sarge? You going to tell me, man, what's better than what we got here, man? You must be crazy. Leave this good old master? Say, that's what you tell me, Sarge. I say, Sarge.
See what I mean, man? See what I mean?
I say, Sarge.
You know how I believe in liberty. I believe in fighting for liberty. You better believe if my personal liberty is at stake, I'm going to be fighting like a motherfucker for it. You better believe that if you don't believe nothing else about me.
Okay,
so no, I'm not going to stay on a plantation if I got any opportunity to get the hell out.
Sarge. Are you sure, Sarge, you won't be one of those
I know
Negroes
me, and yes, I am sure. Yes, I am.
When Sister Harriet comes up there and says, with her street sweeper, that we getting ready to get on this train, there ain't no going back, and we got to go through rugged country. And you mean to tell me, Sarge, you're not going to sit up there and tell Sister Harriet, oh, we can't do this, we can't leave the good old master.
No, there's a difference between being prudent and not willing to take action at all. I mean, you oftentimes have to exercise prudence in determining a plan of action. That's different than saying I'm not going to do it at all.
The point of the matter is this, Sarge. This country, Sarge, was built on hatred. It was built on greed. It was built on exploitation. It was built on some degrees of sexual abuse, of how they used to violate our women on the plantation system. But you still got all these yassa bosses out here, like your Tim Scott, your Brandon Johnsons, you know what I'm saying, your Eric Adams, let me see, other house Negro that you had down there in Los Angeles, Uncle Tom Bradley, you know what I'm saying? And you got the audacity to sit here to tell our audience
90 seconds.
And the people on the podcast that racism does not exist. Sir,
I never said that never in my life on your show ever. You know it.
Sarge, you smoking dope, man.
I never said such a thing. What I have said is this.
Dope,
let me tell you what I have said is this. Is that in 2024, not 1924, not 1824, 2024, that most of the problems that are in the black community and the attendant pathologies are not primarily due to racism. That is what I said. Not that it doesn't exist. To a great extent, yeah, they keep voting for Democrats. What else you want me to do? What else you want me to say? You're damn right they are.
Okay, Sarge, this is why I quit voting, Sarge. I wouldn't voted, man, in this scam election, okay? And I had to come to the conclusion, Sarge, that I can no longer do this anymore, a man of my age, okay? And because with the selection of the dump, as in human shit, and I want to make that perfectly clear, by the way.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi, this is Kat. I'm just going to listen, okay?
Oh, how are you, Kat? How are you today? Thank you for joining us. And we got Sarge. And Sarge is on his tirade as usual, you know what I'm saying? But Sarge is Sarge. No, we respect Sarge.
Right.
Although we disagree 90% of what he says. And thank you so much for joining us, Kat. Okay, now, Sarge.
Wait a second, Shabaka. Sarge
Go ahead, Kat.
Sarge doesn't know he's a black man. I just want to let you know.
Okay, all righty. Okay,
you let a white
Sarge.
woman tell you whether I know I'm a black man. Does that sound like Miss Sally telling you what you're supposed to be thinking about yourself? Sounds like it to me. Hey, look, man, look. This woman has no other point in calling other than to snipe at me. Let's see if she has something meaningful to add to the discussion. I doubt it. I'll give her the floor, and let's see what she has to say other than to take a snipe at me.
Everybody got a girlfriend, another girlfriend.
Wow, Sarge.
Only Shabaka can give me the floor, asshole.
I'm a co-host. Tell him, Shabaka, I'm a co-host here, ain't I?
Okay, Sarge, you are a contributor to our platform.
Thank you, sir. That's why I said what I said, Madam Cat. Do you want to contribute something or not?
Okay, of course Miss Cat is going to contribute.
Well, let's see if she does. Oh, no, it's more than likely not just sniping at me. She ain't going to say nothing very significant.
Look.
I think I'm a white man. Ain't this a bitch?
Extra girlfriend. Everybody's doing the most.
What's on your mind, Miss Cat? You know, and
that's really contributory to the discussion.
Okay.
I'm transitioning to a white man.
He came to let me talk.
Okay,
Anyway.
go ahead, Miss Cat. Go ahead and speak, ma'am. Okay, now we all know that Sarge is Sarge. We all know you're tough, Sarge. Go on and let Miss Cat speak. We are in overtime, so
Tell her to
we're
spit
gonna
it out.
run you to the ground until they pull the plug on her. Go ahead, Miss Cat.
I'm really enjoying seeing the Republicans backstab each other and trying to sabotage Donald Trump's upcoming administration. It's already
they're
happening,
perfect for each other.
and it's a joy to behold to see how the
Okay.
Republicans
That lady
backstab
sound
each
older
other.
than
It's
fucking
wonderful.
Methuselah.
That's all I
That's
have.
great news.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great news.
Oh my
I think
God.
I
I'm
like
sure-
that.
I'm sure
That's
God
better
fucking
than watching the
Sarge was
ponies
like,
lose. Because somebody in here loves the Denver Broncos. And I say put the ponies back in the barn.
Wow, Shabaka.
There you go.
Well, Shabaka, you know something?
See,
You know,
obviously,
people who are
Leslie's
not
from my
Democrats
age.
tend not to
He
walk
missed
in
that
lockstep.
comment right
We don't
there.
two-step together. And I think it's entirely
Wonder what
fitting
Jesse's
that there be
doing.
some
He missed it.
infighting about this. You know, that's probably one of the reasons why Democrats lost, is because they tried to adhere to a party line, and they tried to adhere to the same lies that the American people see were not the truth, that Joe Biden was fit for office, and there was nothing at all wrong with him, and Kamala Harris was the greatest statesman since Winston Churchill.
Where is he?
And see, that's what got them in trouble. Now, if the Republicans have a lot of infighting and can't get along, and they have to iron things out, and they got to debate like hell, and they got to go fight for what they need, I think they'll come out stronger on the other side. I think they shouldn't be in lockstep. I'm kind of glad to see there's a certain amount of discord.
I say, how does Sarge know white person?
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you're crazy too, but I don't talk about that now, do I?
The Republicans
Not much.
and Democrats are each a corporation that people pledge allegiance to. So now
They
that
got
they're
different
in
styles.
office, it's no longer Republican and Democrat, and you're going to see who's really running the show, which isn't Congress at all. Anyway, that's all. Because if you're at a point in life where you really believe that Congress really is running this show, then you're just like dogs chasing your tails, because that's not what's going on at all right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that. I don't necessarily believe that.
Sarge, I have to agree with Miss Cat, is because the majority of these politicians, man, are like prostitutes, okay? They're for sale, okay? They sit up there and talk out of both sides of their mouth, okay? To find out that Kamala Harris, from what I understand, has a drinking problem, okay?
No
So
kidding.
she needs to quit drinking at Boone's Farm and that old granddad and the rest of that rot gut that comes out of Napa Valley. You see what I mean? Okay, Sarge. Ralph Nader. I know you know about Ralph Nader, Sarge. You know, I don't know if Mr. Nader is still with us.
Well, wait a minute, Shabaka. First of all, I think this election has highlighted to a greater degree than ever before, maybe in American history, that Congress doesn't run the show. Let me tell you who runs the show. An unelected army of bureaucrats, corporate interests, all sorts of globalists. So no, I do not agree that Congress is in complete control of the show at all. And in fact, this election has revealed that schism more than anything else could. So no, I don't.
Okay,
so the basis of your premise about my belief is incorrect.
Okay, now,
Sarge very well.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you finally got educated, Sarge.
I've been educated. You don't listen.
I did educate Sarge on this by putting him in
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You contributed some information. You didn't educate me. I educated myself when I went through the information. You did not educate me by yourself. You provided me with some information that was useful.
He's like, I don't take no education from a white lady.
You understand the distinction? You gotta stop being so arrogant.
Oh my God!
I mean, it's just like she's infallible. You know what I mean? She's like an oracle from the Delphi.
Okay, Sarge, Cat is a very, very educated woman.
Flirtatious
I
ways.
didn't say she wasn't. I'm saying she's also arrogant.
Flirtatious ways.
Well, yeah, I am.
Oh,
so you know what I mean? And it shows because like it leads you to make incorrect premises. And your premises are garbage in, garbage out.
Okay, oh my God. Sarge, you have perhaps been the most arrogant individual that we have had on this platform. Okay.
Well, how am I arrogant? I'll tell you, I always let you, hey, I tell you, this is what I think. This is what I think is correct. Respond to it. Tell me what's wrong with it. Occasionally, in case you haven't noticed, you and me come to an agreement.
Okay, Sarge. Well,
and I modify what I had previously said.
I'm not agreeing with shit.
And
Okay, now Sarge is saying today, especially with his great girlfriend the other day.
He just interrupts. He hears my voice and he goes fast.
You know why he says
no, when you make one of your corrupt promises, I do. Yeah, I want to make sure you don't get away with it.
Would you be quiet?
Ooh, see?
1 minute time.
See, that's how they flirt.
Take all the air out.
Go ahead and whip out the dick, cuz.
Yeah, because I got a good set of lungs.
Mm-hmm. I bet he does.
That it's these unelected bureaucrats who run everything. It's not even those people. It's the foreign policy establishment that Sarge doesn't understand.
Go ahead, meet up and
I've been trying to educate
that out.
BTR about this for a very long time. The foreign policy establishment runs everything. Because foreign policy runs everything. Everything. It does it through the State Department. It does it through the Department of Defense, and their agencies, which is the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, and all the cutouts like the National Endowment for Democracy, the National Science Foundation. Do you know that the National Science Foundation right now is funding all the censorship projects in Europe? You know how the laws in Europe saying, certain things that you say or put on social media will put you in jail. That funding is coming directly from us.
Don't know what you're doing.
United States.
Evidently not
defending your these foreign policy people have now put their people in charge of all these what they're called cutouts. For example,
she needs to cut it out.
Victoria Nuland, who is the architect of the war in Ukraine. She is now working for the National Endowment for Democracy. You all need to look up that organization. It's legally do
is how to get off the phone.
Congress, what the CIA cannot do. What the CIA legally cannot do.
Doesn't even matter.
This is just like
I just want to know what Sarge, get your bitch.
One little iota of information I'm giving you, but I just want you to keep this in mind.
Sarge, the bitch sounds like RFK Jr. Get her off the phone.
Government.
You know what she's talking
doing
about.
The bidding of the foreign policy establishment.
They're just letting her
whose
talk.
Number one goal.
Yes, ma'am.
Is
go ahead, baby.
Over Eurasia. Right now, Eurasia is that part of Eastern Europe and Russia and part of the Middle East that has the most resources that we need in the entire world. Yes, Africa is rich in minerals and oil and all kinds of things.
I'm glad you brought up Africa, Kat, because I got some comments that I want to make on Africa, if I can. Brother Che, you still with us?
No.
Yes.
Can I just make one more point?
No,
yes, ma'am, you most certainly can. Yes, ma'am, you most certainly can.
So I'm still here, and I don't know if you're talking about my Broncos. Go ahead.
It was in 1950. I think it was 1957.
He went around to defend his Broncos because he was out there. Everybody acted like a hoe today.
That we would no longer practice colonialism. That the conquering nations
practicing colonialism right now in the show.
Take over or install governments in other lands. And so they
decided
what is termed the national or the globalist.
That bitch sound like RFK Jr. At 80 years old.
What they would do is they would follow the example of the Catholic Church, in that they would take over.
That's what you need.
Especially after the fall of the Berlin Wall. International banking took over everything. So this decision was made after we no longer have to conquer a land. We just take it over. We take the resources. We install the government that we want. And this has been the entire role of the CIA.
Where the fuck does Sarge go?
formation.
He
That's all I want to
he
say.
has responsibilities.
Carry on.
Okay.
He works here now.
Yes, ma'am.
He's back
Okay.
to work.
Thank you so very, very much, Miss
Get
Cat,
this
to
bitch
prove
off the
your
phone.
point. Okay, just like
I
when
feel
they
colonized
assassinated
already.
Patrice Lumumba in 1960, it was the Belgians that done it. Now, a very, very sad note that has came across my desk in the last 24 hours is that Ibrahim Traore is allowing the Chinese to come in there into Burkina Faso. See, that's the problem right there. See, these neo-colonialists in Africa who are on the puppet strings of colonialists. Okay.
Right? Neo-colonialism.
I've given up all the resources. Look at the Dutch Shell oil companies. The tethers. Yeah, the tethers. Okay, yeah, you see. Now, that's the problem. And these hand-picked individuals, okay, who are the neo-colonialists, which are the tethers of the colonialists, okay, starting what's happened down in Central Africa, also to the Berlin Conference you had of 1888, where the Europeans are going to divide Africa up for its resources. Now, Ibrahim Traore is allowing the Chinese to come in there, and he's making the same damn mistake that they did down there in South Africa. You see what I'm saying? He's making the same damn mistake that they did down there in Zimbabwe.
He's giving them money.
Peanuts, allow these powers, though, these European powers to come in there. Now, keep in mind, without Africa, you will not have your raw materials for your laptops, desktops, crappy cell phones, which are nothing more than tracking devices and what have you. These tethers, you know, as Brother Jay had pointed out, just like one tether who says, I'm just going to take. You see what I mean? Okay, not knowing the damage that they are doing. You see what I mean? Now, with me being a diasporic African, it was great concern to me. Yes, well, the simple fact is, they're making it normal for us as a people, Sarge, and you are a prime example of this when you sit up there and support the dump as a human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear, too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to quote another crook. If it wasn't for African resources, Sarge, the whole Western economy would collapse.
Okay, let me. Okay, Shabaka
knows it.
May I?
J.D. Vance knows it. You see what I'm saying? And Hollywood sits up here and perpetuates this bullshit of self-hatred of us as a people. So therefore, so when you had good guys like who came along, like Malcolm, Minister Farrakhan, you see what I'm saying? The Black Panther Party, what have you, was talking about controlling our resources. They don't want us to have that power, Sarge. Why? It's because as long as you got Negroes like Colin Powell, you know, who's no longer with it, other House Negro, you got up there the former 4-star Marine Corps general that's up there with Sleepy Joe. And only Lord knows what the dump is going to do, because I have not seen that one black person being selected to work in his regime. He don't even want Ben Carson no more. Ben Carson self-classified himself on his own med. Did you see that dude the last time he was up there before the Congress, man? The dude was so lit up, man, he didn't know which way it was at. Oh, my God. But they want us to sit up there to kill ourselves. They want us to sit up there to have black men and call their woman the B-word. They want to sit up there and have black women degrade black men. You see what I'm saying? And they call this stuff progress. Sorry. If that's not a case of banging your head up against a wall expecting a different result each time, man, I don't know which way is up. Go ahead,
Okay. I would like to respond to what was said earlier, and I haven't had a chance to respond yet, about the idea of these bureaucrats in the State Department and elsewhere. When I said bureaucrats, that would include the bureaucrats in the State Department that are unelected and maintain civil service positions and other permanent positions indefinitely beyond election. So yes, I am also referring to those bureaucrats in the State Department, and even ones that are not bureaucrats that are permanent residents of the State Department, more or less. Now, are you familiar with the Suez Canal crisis in 1956? You know what happened there?
What happened?
When Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal, and Egypt, France, and Britain responded militarily.
Oh my God!
Now, what did Eisenhower do in response to that? Remember, Dwight D. Eisenhower was one of our last, more or less, really principal presidents. And here's what he did: he issued a strong warning. He told the British, "Hey, y'all are fucking up big time. If you invade Egypt and attempt to depose Nasser, like you used to do in old colonialist past, he said, well, I'm going to sell all the British bonds that we hold, and I'm going to wreck your finance, your economy." That's what he threatened to do to the British when they did it. And they backed down. They backed down because they were going to depose Nasser and install their own puppet ruler. That's what they were taking to do. And that was the beginning of the free fall of British to the world colonial power. That was the final death knell, I think, for that British system. They realized after that they were going to be able to get away with that. Now, I understand the influence of foreign policy on national affairs, but I do not believe that what Victoria Nuland and her ilk are doing in places like Syria right now and in Ukraine has anything to do with Lesko Brandon Johnson taking ShotSpotter out of neighborhoods in Chicago. Now, you might say it's a very peripheral relationship, and at best it's that, but it certainly isn't central to it. So, no, foreign policy does not run everything. It influences a lot of things, but not everything.
Yes, it does.
Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No. I don't believe that had anything to do with him taking ShotSpotter out of the neighborhoods and making murder more likely in the neighborhoods of the city of Chicago. And if it didn't, explain to me how it did.
Right. After you
get who you remind me of, Sarge. And I'm just going to tell you straight.
She says foreign policy controls everything. I said, no, it doesn't. It controls many things. She says it's everything. And I gave a very specific instance of ShotSpotter. How is ShotSpotter being taken out of the neighborhood got anything to do with foreign policy?
Man, that's what
if so, explain to me. Maybe I missed something. And give me a real explanation, and don't lead me in circles by talking about something else.
I don't know.
Sorry.
It's like, shut up.
I might shut up if you give me a straight answer.
Yeah, I got a straight answer for you, Sarge.
I don't think you're capable of it, but let's see if you can.
Well, somebody
give you a straight answer.
Okay. Yeah. You love that, wouldn't you? Like such a...
See?
Okay. Now, what it is, people, is this. Okay, you got censorship. Okay, the U.S. says, well, we got freedom of speech.
He loves arguing with the lady.
Look at Donald Trump. Look at Joe Biden. Look at Barack Obama.
Get off the phone.
Barack Obama goes over there to the motherland, stating that they need to embrace an alternative agenda. When the president of Kenya had told him, hey, Mr. Obama, we want to know what type of policies that you're going to have to help East Africa, to help the African continent as a whole, because it was not for Africa, okay, the world's economy will collapse, with that being said. Also, too, let's talk about the great earthquake that happened off the coast of California yesterday. Yeah, I believe it was.
Let's just talk about
7.0. You know what I mean? So that might be.
Everybody's
that was 7.0. Oh, that'll wake you up. You know what I'm saying? It'll have you downright upset. It's going to make you feel uneasy. I lived through many of them. Now, couldn't that be God's wrath speaking? And guess what's in California, people? You guessed it. Dale, Silicon Valley, you know what I'm saying? And all that old good stuff. And then them overcharging toll bridges of the Bay Area, they might collapse and things of this nature right there. Now, is this karma? Is this natural phenomenon? You see? All right. But why is it that when we, on a Pan-African basis, trying to come together, and as Brother Jay has pointed out, you got all these hand-picked tattoos, You see what I'm saying? To talk
Playing
about
with
the
the
belief in a
ponies.
system that does not believe in them. So when are we as a people are going to get together, you see, on a collective basis?
When the
You see
ponies
what
will.
I'm saying? Throughout all of Pan-Africa, it's for the simple fact, if it wasn't for
Niggas not
Africa,
around to
the
defend himself.
world's economy
He's
would
doing other
not
shit.
exist. I yield.
No, he's not. Did you hear him? I don't hear him. He's not around to defend himself.
It was a cater thing going to the Super Bowl.
That's when black people get together and unite.
Yes, ma'am, please.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, the
That's the
problem
answer
with
to Shabaka'S
Chicago
question. When they win the
is
Super Bowl.
that,
Attack is not coming
this is not, are going to
What you
yell
gonna
back
do
at
about
me and
it?
say that this is so, but Baku, you'll know I'm telling the truth. The cartel, the drug
What you
trade,
gonna do about it, Jesse?
child labor, all this is controlled by the CIA.
Exactly. You ain't gotta do nothing about it.
Don't want
Okay.
to believe it,
Fuck that.
but it's true.
I'm not gonna do nothing about it because I ain't going.
The drug
You ain't
right
going
now
where?
they favor the Sinaloa cartel.
You ain't
The
going where?
Sinaloa cartel. Every cartel has their region in the United
You
States
ain't going to the Super
of the
Bowl?
drug traffic.
No.
Chicago is a major
Why not?
hub of drug trafficking in America. That's why you have violence there.
You're not going to the
That's
Super
why
Bowl?
black
Is that what
people
you
are
said?
still treated like shit there. They're what do they bring into Chicago right now?
I don't know why
They're
you
bringing
wouldn't
in
want
people
to,
from
but all
Central
right.
America and more from Mexico,
And
and
I
they're
can't
bringing in a
understand you
new
because
type
you're
of
a
drug
fan or
trade.
something.
So you're going to have a lot of fighting there. The black people are being displaced and replaced in Chicago. So the
You're
violence
right.
in America is predominantly
I just sent
among
you on a
black
text
people
message. Maybe you'll answer that.
in the inner cities. It's all about control of the drug. Sarge doesn't want to admit this as a police officer. He should know this by now. He doesn't want to admit that the CIA funds these illegal activities of drug trafficking all over the world. That's all I
Yes,
have to
ma'am, and
say.
that's what the Reagan regime did. Yeah, okay. When they had that old senile bastard up there, Ronald Reagan, the former governor of California. Okay, all that crap had occurred. Okay, and then you had old Biden that introduced every mass incarceration bill in the U.S. Congress. So what was that there, Brother Chase, since 1972?
Yeah.
Now, Hunter Biden gets a hold of some shit, So Hunter, is totally out of his mind. Hunter gets convicted, and of course his father pardoned him, okay? Now,
and that's that, huh? Is that the end of it? They cut him off?
What is that?
Yeah, what is that, Jesse? Elevator music.
What's that?
Yeah, Jesse, what is that?
Brother Trey.
MIA as usual.
Is that in the background?
Who knows, Shabaka? Who knows? I'm not in charge of nothing. I think that's probably the end of the show. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. Doing the most.
Okay, what was that? Is Cat still with us?
I don't know what he's up to, man. I don't know what anybody's doing anywhere.
Okay, Cat, was you playing music?
Damn.
Okay. All right, but back to what I was saying, we're going to start our closing comments. Okay, well, Sarge is Sarge. The fact of the matter is,
what are you doing on the radio,
Jesse? In Africa, the world's economy in Europe, the United States, and what have you, and China would not exist without African resources. Rather if it's raw materials, rather if it's free labor, you see what I'm saying? The exploitation of its women and what have you. Okay, so that is my closing comment on that right there.
Well, I think that your premise there, Shabaka, is a little bit tenuous, given the fact that Europe had a thriving civilization before the 15th century, And that's when they started the transatlantic slave trade, and when they started even exploring the coast of Africa. They weren't going into the interior of Africa. Now wait a minute, Shabaka. Now see, I just got started with my comments, man. I mean, I'm 10 seconds into my comments.
Go ahead, Sarge.
All right, thank you. Please. I'm 10 seconds into my comment. You're already blasting. Again, let me stress. Europe had a thriving civilization prior to the 15th century. When they started exploring the coast of it, they weren't going into the interior of Africa. They were doing slave trading on the coast. That was the Portuguese started that. All right?
Yes.
Did Europe exploit Africa and its resources eventually, starting particularly around, well, other than the transatlantic slave trade, they didn't really start going to interior Africa until the 19th century. So I'm just saying they were doing okay without Africa prior to that. I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africa.
Sarge. Okay, Sarge.
I'm not talking about the coast. I'm not talking about the Mediterranean coast of Africa. I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, Sarge. Okay. Glad you brought up sub-Saharan Africa. Okay. You saw what they did to Patrice Lumumba, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I'm very familiar with that, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then, of course, as you do know, Sarge, recently, Biden sent one of his representatives over there to Uganda, the land of Idi Amin Dada. Nobody fool Big Daddy. Okay, and so then President Museveni told Hyde Biden's representative, because Hyde Biden representative is going to go over there very arrogantly say that they must embrace a rainbow, all-inclusive LGBT agenda. President Museveni says that this is Uganda. We don't do that here. Okay, so therefore, Biden's representative, well, we'll take all your aid from you. And President Museveni said, take away your aid and get out of my office. Then 3 more seconds, he looked at him and said, fool, you still here? Do you need some help of getting up out of here? So he bum rushed it. But what it is, though, is this, is that we have stated, and then also, too, as I'm doing some reading on Skip the Truth Gates, okay? I was very, very sick, and the garbage of that I am coming across, man, will make you vomit, okay? But, however, I got to read more material because before they finally pull the plug on Blog Talk as a whole, we're going to mention Skip Gates. And then keep in mind, Sarge, as you know, Skip Gates placed more emphasis on the raping, slave trading pedophiles that violated his bloodline as opposed to his African blood, Sarge. Now, Sarge, you and I are not going to debate the hummingbird again, or as you say, the bumblebee. All right? Okay. So what it is that we have to become self-sufficient as a people, Sarge, both here in the U.S. and abroad, and we got to stop killing each other because the people who we're killing are going to be the ones that we're going to need to watch our back when this stuff hits the fan. It is going to hit the fan, Sarge. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well look, by the way, I've watched Skip Gates several of the shows that he's done. I've watched them, and he gives equal time to both sides of the genetic tree, or all sides of the genetic tree. Of course, he's going to spend more time on those aspects of which there are better records. When you have records that corroborate your ancestry, then obviously you have more time to go over that. But roughly speaking, he devotes an equal amount of time to all sides of the family tree. I've watched this program. You can't tell me, no, I've watched several of the programs. You can't tell me that's not so. I got eyes to see, and I got ears to listen with.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, when I look at a black man like Leo Terrell, Larry Elder, Thomas Sewell, Skip Gates, I have come to the conclusion that these are nothing more than a bunch of miseducated fools. Is because I got all these books that I'm going to read. So when I crumb bum on these assholes, I'm going to know what I'm talking about. Okay,
yeah, but you said he gives more time to one or the other, and I'm telling you that's not true. I've watched too many of his programs to make that conclusion.
Okay, but Sarge, he places more emphasis on the raping.
He doesn't. He does. He gives emphasis to what he's got records for.
Sarge, he does.
I mean, you know, like you talk about birth registry, county records, state records, international records. I mean, naturally, when you got that, which is actual factual corroboration, you're going to spend more time on it. And you got to admit, white people got more of that kind of documentation than black people do, particularly in the 17th, 18th, and 19th century.
Okay, but Sarge, like I told you, okay, when you said that you had white people in your ancestry, you trying to tell me these are your relatives. They're not your relatives.
They are. What do you want me to do, disown them? Look, you disown your relatives. I'm not going to disown mine.
Sarge. You were their property.
Well, okay. You know what they were? Do you know all of my ancestors and what they were?
Sarge,
why are you making this assumption?
I'm talking about Sarge.
Now, if you want to say generally, make the case generally. By the way, I'm not even certain about all the specifics of my Caucasian ancestors, so I'm not going to make a claim one way or the other.
Okay, Sarge, let me ask you a question. If you took your black ass to the city of Los Angeles and get pulled over by the race soldiers there, what are they going to describe you as when they run a make on you?
Look, we know what they're going to do. That doesn't negate the fact that they were there and I would not exist were they not in my ancestral line.
Okay,
I'm sorry, sir. That doesn't, I don't care what the cops do. It doesn't negate the genetic facts of my existence.
You're evading the issue, Sarge.
I'm not evading. I'm giving you a precise answer.
Okay, Sarge. Okay.
Do you understand that my very genetic makeup is dependent on every human being that was in my ancestral line, no matter how they got there? Do you understand this basic scientific concept or not?
Oh, okay. Now, Sarge, let me ask you a basic scientific concept. Have you read the book by Daryl Gates called Chief yet?
No, I haven't read it yet. It's in the pile. I'll get to it eventually.
You did. Okay,
but I know enough about Gates. I can make some kind of conclusion.
Sarge, when your black ass gets stopped in the city of Los Angeles.
Here we go again. Like my existence depended upon what the police do when they make the traffic stop on me. No, it's not. My existence is independent of what they fucking do.
Sarge, the LAPD is not going to tell you that bullshit.
I don't care if they do. I looked it up for information about my family history.
Okay, Sarge.
I don't care what they do. Let them do what they do. I'm going to do what I do.
Sarge, what they're going to do, Sarge, they're going to say that the suspect is described as the male Negro, meaning you, Sarge.
Well, let them. I don't dictate to them what they do.
Sarge, I'm not telling you shit that I think. I'm not telling you shit that I guess. I'm telling you shit.
And the point of this is what? Does that mean they removed my white ancestors from my genetic tree?
Sarge.
No, there's an action of describing me as a black man. Does that remove the white people in my ancestry? Yes or no? Does it? Yes or no?
Described as a male Negro.
I already conceded that. Now, does that action remove all of my ancestors that they don't include in that description?
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you're really crazy with this shit, man. You really are. You got a blind spot.
Sarge.
It literally makes you oblivious to fact.
Okay, Sarge, let me tell you something about the LAPD. To quote the last poet, the night stick, the night stick.
Why you hold the LAPD as something I'm supposed to be? I'm supposed to look at the central factor in my life.
Sarge, only thing I know is this. is that when they book your black ass over there, when they book your black ass into the Twin Towers, they're putting down there, we've got a male.
Hey, there's a reason why I
here.
stay out of Los Angeles, Shabaka. You should have got the hell out earlier.
I agree with you on that, son. Shit, that's what I'm doing. I'm here in Las Vegas. That fucking earthquake
run by Democrats. That's enough reason to get the hell out.
No, Sarge. Now that's where I got your ass. California, Sarge, would elect a Repub
Los
governor,
Angeles, I didn't say California.
Democratic lieutenant governor, and turn around and do the exact opposite. California, Sarge, is more of a Repub state than it is a Democrat state. Because you're not going to win with either one of these crooked-ass political organizations.
Are you complaining about the sheriff in Orange County, or are you complaining about the police in L.A.? Are you complaining about the sheriff in Orange County, or are you complaining about the police in L.A.? The police in L.A. run L.A., not the sheriff in Orange County, which is largely Republican.
Sarge, let me tell you something. Those police
and you don't hear these kind of complaints about them over there, not like you do LAPD.
Sarge, okay, the Oakland PD is corrupt. The San Francisco Police Department is corrupt.
Democrat, again Democrat.
The damn Black Panthers came into existence in Oakland, California.
You keep talking about Oakland, Democrat. You see, every time, Democrat. And we just keep ignoring it. Or you relegated to a lower tier of concern.
Okay, Sarge, let me ask you a question. After years that you and I have been acquainted on this podcast, when have you ever heard me sit up there and say support the Democrats no matter what?
You haven't said that. What gets me is that you complain about everything else but them. You go back 150 years to complain about some slave owner, but you'll ignore something on your neck right now.
White relatives.
It was the Ku Klux Klan that started. No, I'm sorry. It was the Democratic Party that brought you the Ku Klux Klan, sorry.
And brought slavery to the United States for the most part.
Okay.
Not exclusively, but for the most part. Well, every one of the presidential party platforms from 1820 to the end of the Civil War event support for slavery. Every single one. And its expansion into the newly acquired territory.
Sarge, like I said.
Why was this something that we're just supposed to say, well, they're all the same, so there's no point talking about it?
Sarge, like I told you before, Sarge, if you and I were slaves down there in Alabama, and the brother came up to us and said, like the X-Man, and said, hey, man, let's escape. Let's run away. And we go off there with him, right? Then we come across this woman who's about 5'1" with this double-barrel shotgun by the name of Harriet, who states that once you get on this train, there ain't no coming back. Then Sarge, you and I decided to bum rush California to go to the Barbary Coast as in barbarians. Okay? Hey, we in Frisco. Hey, Sarge, let's go up here to Hangtown, man, and let's see if we can get some of this gold up out of California. Then here comes the race soldiers, Sarge. Here comes the slave patrol. Hey, we got two Negroes here named Sarge and Shabaka, and keep in mind that both these Negroes are probably worth about $100 at the most combined. Okay, but we got to get their minds right. So they're throwing shackles on us, Sarge. We are walking back to the plantation, Sarge. They ain't got no stagecoach for us that says Wells Fargo on the side of it. They ain't got horses for us, Sarge. We walking. You see?
Man, I got one question to ask.
Shackles on her. You see what I'm saying?
Why do you give so much import to these people who oppress you? Why do you do that?
Okay.
Why do you assign them such import, even when they can no longer affect you?
Okay, Sarge. The point is that what I'm trying to show you, that even to this day, this same ethos is still in existence. Look at
Yeah, wherever Democrats reign. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, Sarge, I ain't got no love for the Democrats, man.
Well, why don't you talk about it more?
Okay, Sarge. The Democrats and the Republicans.
I mean, they do the dirt to get you for the most part.
Same coin. Sarge. Just like with the X-Men.
I mean, they got, look, man, hey, Shabaka.
Like
they got black women, wait a minute, Shabaka. They got black women lined up for auto-genocide and all these Planned clinics clustered in and around blue cities. They're clustered around there to get black women in to commit auto-genocide. And you don't want to notice it?
Okay, Sarge, listen to our most recent
It's amazing to me that you do this.
Sarge, please listen to our recent playback. We did a special edition on with Dr. Christina Parks. Okay, you wasn't on that show, Sarge. You know what I'm saying? But listen
I
to
wish
the
I had been,
playback of it.
because I think it's a very important issue.
Okay, Sarge.
We're talking about auto-genocide. 23 million black babies since 1970. Or 26 million. I guess it's either between 23 and 29 million black babies.
Okay,
that's in case you haven't noticed, that's more than even the police killed.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, Sister Headset shit. Are you
I know. We should notice these things. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay, Sister Headset shit. You were in on that conversation with Dr. Parks, right? We did not use not one cuss word. Dr. Parks had broke it down, and we definitely appreciate Dr. Parks coming on there with us, Sarge. You need to listen to the playback of that episode, Sarge, and get back with me. I mean, because the revelations that the doctor made were downright frightening, particularly to us as black men. You see what I'm saying?
It sure was.
It was downright frightening. Now, guess what, Sarge? And guess what the fuck happened on that show, too, Sarge? That's going to blow your goddamn mind. Excuse my language, folks.
So what is anything that was said on the show that I would disagree with?
Sarge, on that
Wait a minute, just answer the question. You know how I feel about abortion and its auto-genocide, and black women are lining up all over the place to do it. Now, is there anything that was said on the show that is out of line with that opinion that I've repeatedly expressed here on your show?
First of all,
go ahead, Sister Headset. Work them, sister.
You said black women are lying all up everywhere just to do it. What about the white woman who are laying up with everybody, trying to lay up with all
the reason is because you guys tell me you're not worried about white people. So I said, let's look at the black women that have done it, and they count between 23 and 29 million of their abortions. Now, if you put the white women in there, you got 63 million, okay? So now if you want to talk about white women, let's talk about white women. I'm happy to have that discussion, too.
Okay, Sarge, here's what we're going to do with you, Sarge. Since we're on
answer my questions would be a good start.
Okay, Sarge.
Because I answer yours.
Okay, Sarge. Okay, to put all nonsense aside, okay, and I'm sure Brother Che will agree with me. Please listen to the playback, Sarge. You could Google it, okay? The next time we track you down, since you know you hide, man, Sarge, you more fake than
I ain't never heard from a fight in his life. I ain't never heard from a fight in my life since I learned how to fight. When I used to get my ass kicked all the time, didn't know how to fight. Yeah, I used to hide from fighting. When I learned how to fight, I ain't never backed down from a fight.
Okay, Sarge, we all know that you're tough, okay? All right,
don't say I'm hiding. I might not be there, but it's damn sure ain't hiding.
You know how to work napkin holders, Sarge.
You're damn right.
If you ever decide to come out here to Sin City, man, I need you to show me how to work the napkin holder. Okay, now, okay, the point we're making here, Sarge, very educated sister, very articulate, and she broke it down, Sarge. Okay,
she broke it down. We heard the whole thing.
This society wants to kill off the black male.
Right.
The reason is because once the black male comes together as on a collective basis, economically, politically, physically, militarily, and entrepreneurially, you see what I'm saying, Sarge? He will be a force to reckon with. As Brother Che said, that they are in fear of this one big nigga. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is why they did not want the slave to read, because if the slave read, he starts thinking. once he starts thinking, he starts realizing his position. Once he starts realizing his position, he says, you know what? I'm not taking this shit no more because I'm saying too. And then the next thing you know, it's pow, ping. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to go take our fucking liberation. See, this is why. Okay, now hold on, Sarge. This is why, Sarge. They want to sit up there to pit you against me. That's why they want to have Brother Che go against the both of us. You see what I'm saying? Because let's say, Sarge, you and I, two old bastards, they put us up on the auction block. They'll probably, man, do a special on us. Two broken down old black men here for $50. The Sarge.
Yeah, Jesse getting sold for
they get Brother Che up there on the auction block. Well, you know, Brother Che is kind of young and Brother Che is kind of solid right here. You know what I'm saying? And Brother Che's a big
Brother
dude.
Che is really kind of young and solid.
$50 for Brother Che. But Sarge, when it comes to our woman up on the auction block.
Yeah, he's so young and handsome.
Well,
he's
just
just
look at them
right
knockers.
there.
Look at that
His
curvature
old
in her
curry
behind.
skirt has
We paying $500 for her.
$35.
Because why?
Wait a minute, that's you look at slave prices in that 19th century. Young, strong, young, hard-working black men commanded the highest prices. I mean, that's just not true.
No,
I'm sorry, that's just not true. Across the board, black men who are of military age and were in good health commanded the highest prices.
Okay, Sarge. Okay.
Hey, are you familiar with the slave trade in the South, antebellum South?
Oh, very much so. I studied it
well,
all
you
my
should know what those prices were.
Sarge. The point is what I'm getting
and
at.
You love Mandingo so much, you know how much a fighting buck could bring.
Sarge. Okay, that's why Muhammad Ali hated Ken Norton for playing that part.
All right, don't change the
right?
subject, damn it. Let's stick on the subject. My point is that black men of military age in good health commanded the highest prices on the slave auction block. And you know that's true. Now, if you don't believe it's true, tell me why it's not.
Okay, hold on, Sarge. But then, as you know, Sarge, you served in this conflict. Why did black men make up the majority of the combat troops in Vietnam?
They didn't. That's not true. See what I mean? You keep saying these things aren't true. I got the numbers.
Sarge, I'm very familiar with a Vietnam vet that served in that conflict, man, that told me the exact opposite.
Okay. Was he in every unit in Vietnam?
I have no comment.
How would he know?
On Sarge.
Unless he's got access to the personnel records.
Okay, Sarge. Only thing I can say about that is this. Okay?
Yeah, you can find a unit that might have a disproportionate number of black troops in certain line platoons of companies, but not overall throughout the history of the Vietnam War. That's not true. They didn't even make up a disproportionate number of casualties in the Vietnam War. That's not true. They did from the years 1965 to 1967. After those 2 years, it leveled out.
Sarge. Okay.
I mean, you're talking to somebody now who studies this.
Okay, Sarge.
I'm giving you the figures.
Okay, Sarge. I remember as a teenager when I saw Jet Magazine. You familiar with Jet Magazine, Sarge?
Yeah, I know. They highlighted black soldiers. There were many black men in combat in Vietnam. Your statement was they made up most of the soldiers. That's not true.
No, Sarge. I said they made up the majority of the guys who was there on the FIBA, Sarge, who was in the front end battle area.
That's not true.
Okay, Sarge. Okay. Brother Che, are you still with us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to start the closing comments. And, Brother Che, I'm going to get with you, man, because I want to pull up the data, man, from Johnson Publications, man, on the ratio of black soldiers who was on the front line. Meaning if they had 100,000 black soldiers, you could best believe at least 70% of them were on the front line.
Oh, now I know you're off, babe. Now I know you're wrong.
I'm using it, Sarge.
Okay, now I know you're
I'm using that as an example, Sarge. Okay, I'm using that as an example. just like the heavyweight champion at that time, Sarge, that we stated so many times, when them white folks in Texas called him a coward, and if he said that if I'm going to die, I'm prepared to die fighting one of you, and them ass punks didn't say nothing, and you could hear a pin drop in the room.
So
tell me I'm lying.
No.
Okay, like I said, and I said this specifically, from the years 1965 to 1967, there was some truth in that with regard to airborne and air mobile units. But remember, in order to be in an airborne unit, you had to volunteer in that time period. You had to volunteer to be a paratrooper. So you get the jump pay. So all of the black men in those units, in some units, would be as high as 40% of the personnel in the line infantry units were black. Every single one of them was a volunteer. And between the years 1965 and 1967, those were the units that were deemed to be most suited to the mobile type of warfare to go after the elusive Viet Cong, and that's why they were sent there. And they were volunteer. I got to keep stressing this. These black men volunteered to be in these airborne and air mobile units.
Okay,
well, he was talking about grunts, and it is true that black men died. There was a higher percentage of black men who died over the percentage of whites who died during Vietnam of enlisted men. That is true.
Not by the end of the war, it's not. We got the casualties. We got every single name. Every single name has a record, and every single name has their race attached to it. We can do percentages, and it's not true by the end of the war.
Okay, but Sarge.
It is true what I said, though, that overall, more blacks died percentage-wise in Vietnam.
That's not true by 1975. It's not true.
Okay,
I'll give you what the numbers are.
But you're trying to negate what I'm saying by bringing in some other tangents. You won't admit what I'm saying is true.
Work with him, Cat.
Okay, look, I'm going to admit if it's factually correct. It is not. You said black soldiers made up the disproportionately high number of combat deaths in the Vietnam War. Is that your statement, yes or no?
But you're not a goddamn lawyer.
Don't answer the question. I'm not interested in your answer now because I can see you don't want to answer it because you know what the answer is already.
So
fuck it, don't answer. Don't answer. I don't care. I don't want to hear it.
In the military in Vietnam.
It's in the air.
The percentages by race, blacks did die at a higher percentage rate than whites. That is true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the kid told Lady Bird Johnson.
What was the percentage, Cat?
Hold on, son. She's right. That's what the kid told Lady Bird Johnson. And you thought they did to Eartha Kitt.
Yeah, it's like this.
What was the percentage, Cat?
At the end of the day, it's like fuck everybody.
During the Vietnam War, the percentage.
Yeah, what was the percentage of black combat deaths in Vietnam by the end of the war? Overall, from 1965 to 1973, what was the percentage of black soldiers that died in combat in Vietnam?
Would you just shut up?
You don't want to answer because you don't even know, probably.
During that period of time, blacks
made
like,
up
11% of the population in America. 11%.
Okay.
14% of black deaths during that period was over 14%.
It wasn't 14%.
It certainly was.
It was 12.5%.
Oh my God!
Just over 6,000. Just over 6,000 black men were killed in Vietnam in the course of the war. 6,000 out of 58,000.
Oh my God!
6,800 thereabouts.
Their age range.
Okay, sorry.
Now do the math, madam.
Yeah, madam.
Okay, but sorry.
Facts are wrong. What I'm saying.
Okay, all right, whatever. We agree to disagree. I'll tell you what. I'll get the figures from the Pentagon. You get yours. We'll see what you match up.
Okay, even if Sarge is correct, when at a time when blacks only made up 11% of the population in America, then what I said would have been true too.
Okay,
She's
so
got you on that one there,
12.5% is what is that? Is that indicative of so? So let's say you say actually the number of blacks in the United States was about 12%. I'll admit it might have been a half a percentage point higher. But you're telling me, was that evidence of some concerted effort? How about the possibility that black men, particularly at the beginning of the war, were a disproportionate number of the volunteers for the units that were likely to see combat? Why don't you give black men credit for that?
So I don't know the figure.
I know.
The reason
in airborne units, they were as much as 40% of the people in the rifle platoons. In the 503rd Airborne, the 173rd Airborne, I know that's true. So why don't you give them credit for being, they were going well, they were likely, remember, you had to volunteer to be a paratrooper. They were in those units by choice.
101st Airborne, Sarge.
What?
Hold on, Sarge. Hold on. I'm going here to a book, Sarge. Okay, let's see. Vietnam. Now, Sarge, tell me something, Sarge. Okay, when the heavyweight champion at that time refused induction, right? Why at the University of Texas, Sarge, and he never answered this question, how come when they call him a coward, a nigger, a draft dodger, and all other kind of derogatory crap, and he had got up there and stated that if he's going to die, that he was prepared to die fighting one of them, why did you hear a pin drop in the room, Sarge?
Because he was man, he had a beef. He had a beef with the government that refused to recognize his assertion that he was a religious minister, and he has as a conscious objector, he had a right to a draft exemption. That's why he's an individual case. Well, who was Milton Lee? I tell you something. Who was Milton Lee Olive, Shabaka? Who was Milton Lee Olive? They got Olive Park in Chicago's named for Milton Lee Olive. Who was he?
They got a what? The name of who about
a
what?
park in Chicago named for him. Milton Lee Olive.
Okay, elaborate on
Who was he? You know who he was?
Who was he, Sarge?
He was a paratrooper, the 173rd Airborne.
Okay.
He was a volunteer in the he volunteered to jump school and to go to airborne unit. He got the Medal of Honor, the Medal of Honor for throwing himself on a grenade to save his fellow troops. He saw the grenade fall in amongst them when they were chasing the vehicles. He yelled out grenade and he threw himself on it. He was his unit, his platoon that he was in was about 45% black.
Okay, Sarge.
And that was typical in those early stages of the war where you did have a disproportionate number of black combat troops. And that's where that whole myth got started, that black men were being sent to the front deliberately to get them killed. That's how that shit got started.
Okay, now let me
ask you
something? Yes, go ahead, Kat.
Okay, so at the time when when men were drafted into Vietnam, I remember it well.
How long is this
predominantly the people who were eligible? I'm not talking about all black men of military age or all white men of military age. I'm telling you that of the eligible men who were the eligible men for the draft, they drafted.
Lord help us.
Hold on a second. More black men who were eligible for the draft, percentage-wise, were drafted compared to white. So that's why you had a higher percentage of black men who were drafted over white men being drafted during that period. So there. Let's see Sarge defend that.
I'm ready to defend everything you say. I got response for every single thing you say. I'm not going to ignore it.
Okay, twice.
Yeah. Did black men get exemptions of draft at a lower rate than white men? Yeah, they didn't have the same resources to get it. But you're also ignoring this, Cat, that 80% of combat deaths in Vietnam were white men. Now, and remember, you also got Hispanics in that figure, too, and Asians in that figure. It's not like they weren't getting killed, too.
Black people, you dumbass.
Hey, dumb bitch. Hey, let me tell you something. Again, 80%, more than 80% of the men that died in Vietnam were white. who died, and you got Asians who died too.
But you're overlooking the fact that blacks sacrificed more in percentage-wise in Vietnam than whites did.
How much more? A half a percentage?
Sarge, look.
Women, it's not possible that they volunteered to be. 66% of the people who went to Vietnam were volunteers. They were enlistees. They weren't draftees.
So we're not talking about them. We're talking about.
Okay, so they didn't die. There weren't any regular army or people who listened to the Marine Corps, like the 14-year-old black man from North Carolina who went to Vietnam and died at Quai Son.
Okay, everybody.
He was 14 years old, black man, joined up the Marine Corps, went to Quai Son and got killed. 14 years old. Fox 5
I like to say something. Everybody listening,
do
you see how he denies what I'm saying by bringing up other facts?
When did I deny what you said? I acknowledge that black men were drafted at a higher rate because they didn't have the resources to get draft exemptions for the most part compared to white men. I already acknowledge that. You listen very well. But you selectively hear what you want to hear.
You don't listen very well. You
did. Okay, let me say it again. Black men did not get a proportionate amount of draft exemptions because, for the most part, they lacked the resources and the status to get the draft exemptions compared to white men. That's what I said.
You said that.
Well, that sounds like systemic racism to me, son.
No, it sounds like circumstances more than anything else.
No.
If you're not going to college, you can't get a college exemption.
It was racism. We're talking about people eligible for the draft. But the blacks were less likely to be in college.
Eligible for the draft.
And I just said that.
Nor Shabaka.
Okay, but then you reported by talking about people who served and people who elected to go into the military. We're talking about draftees, people who didn't have the ability.
Okay, so why did you break down the numbers by draftees killed in combat in Vietnam? Let's take a look at that. That would be more appropriate to discussion, and I wouldn't. So I know what the figures on that are too. So why don't you tell me what they are? I didn't distort anything, madam. I'm ready now. If I distort it, let's correct it now. Let's not dwell in the past. Let's go on with the future. You made some statements about draftees. You said draftees were disproportionately drafted, and you implied that a disproportionate number of those draftees who were black were killed in combat in Vietnam. You didn't say it, but you implied it.
Fucking bitch.
So how do we examine those figures?
I implied that. So you know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know what you implied. I'm very capable of reading between the lines.
Break the dick down, cuz. Get it over with, because it's brought it straight.
Blacks who had to go in the military that weren't eligible, who weren't ineligible for the draft.
You can feel sexual frustration.
They are not going to volunteer or try out to become airborne or the other sort of elite
that's poor behavior right there.
Units in the military during that time. So they were the grunt. So why don't we just look at this figure, which would solve all this? How many of the grunts got killed by race? Why don't we look that up? And I haven't looked that up, so I can't comment on it. But I'll guarantee you, disproportionate to
white. Like a white man.
And that's basically what we're talking about. All these other figures and statistics that Sarge brings up is distorting the whole picture.
What figure distorted anything I said? Be specific. What was the most distorted figure I cited?
Shut the fuck up, will you?
No, motherfucker, you don't get away with that shit by just saying something is distorted without saying what it was that was distorted.
Come on.
That's what you're trying to do. You're a leftist, and you leftists always do this shit. Now, goddammit, if you say I distorted something, say specifically what it was that was a distortion.
I'm a left. Okay,
motherfucker is full of shit.
49 to 44.
You said I'm a leftist, which I'm not.
You're damn right. You argue like one.
Sarge, you are an asshole from.
And you're stupid and vindictive. And I look, there were 17,671 draftees that were killed in the Vietnam War. Let me say that again. 17,671 draftees of all races that were killed in Vietnam. That made 30% of the 58,675 that got killed in the Vietnam War. Now, I can break it down even further than that if you need me to. I'm gonna kick your ass. Motherfucker, step up to the goddamn plate.
Come on, son.
Hey, look, she does this shit all the time, and she thinks she can get away with it by just fucking name calling.
You called me a leftist. You called me.
Yeah, you're damn right. You're worse than a leftist. Because you try to hide behind it by saying you're really conservative. Or libertarian or whatever you turned into these days.
I didn't call you any names. You called me a bitch. So what does that mean?
You call me a stupid ass.
You're a cunt.
Now. Let's play
like
nice.
I said, she's losing the argument, so she's going to resort to this shit. I'm telling you right now, she's losing the argument. She's losing it. Her contention is that black men were disproportionate. Let's go back to the issue here, Shabaka, because she's trying to hide it now. Her contention was that black men were a disproportionate share of the casualties in Vietnam. That is not true. And I still maintain it is not true.
Bark like a dog, Sarge. That's what you do.
You are a liar. You made it up. You just made it up.
You're a liar.
I mean, look. We got 17,000 draftees killed, 30%. How much percentage of them were black? Do you know?
Shut the fuck up, will you?
Do you know? No, you don't. They want me to shut up now because you're on the ropes. Like you're on the ropes. You're taking rights, you're taking lefts, taking overhand right, taking the hooks. You're staggering, and you're asking the referee to hold you up.
Break that down.
Bark like a dog.
Then we won't have to hear it anymore.
You want the referee to hold you up. Shabaka, you gonna hold her up?
Bark.
Sorry.
Power bottom. Tell her to get on her job.
I mean, why can't she have a discussion on the numbers without resorting to the things that she does?
I don't know, Sarge. Why do you do
The numbers are there. They're not my numbers. They're not your numbers. They're numbers that were collected by your government to give to the people. Now, you can argue with those numbers, but don't tell me the numbers aren't what they are.
Listen how he yells. I mean, how can I have
because you're full of shit. You don't want to really have a discussion. You make it necessary.
Oh, boy.
I mean, look, again, we're talking, you said more black men died disproportionately. That means there are numbers involved. Numbers are stubborn things. They are not amenable to change. They are fixed, immutable.
See, that's not what I said at all. But you heard what you
Good
heard.
Lord, man. I mean, look, stick with the argument. Stop worrying about my personality.
10 minutes.
Okay,
I
but
didn't
hold
say
on.
what you said. I said,
8 minutes and
Sarge.
11 seconds.
All right, so, okay. Restate it then. I'm taking notes when you restate it too. So restate it.
Sarge, why don't
If
you
I got
like
anything wrong, I will be happy to apologize for it.
Okay, sorry.
Bend over and stick it up your ass.
There's another one.
Fuck you too, bitch.
Come on, Sarge. Whoa. Come on, Sarge. Come on.
I'm through with this discussion. She doesn't want to have discussion anymore. She just wants to snipe. That's it. She doesn't want a discussion. That's not why she came here.
Okay, Sister Headception, you still with us, ma'am?
Yes, sir. In about 5 minutes, I got to get off, though.
Okay, yeah. So we good. Okay, start the closing comments, sister. You know what I'm saying? Is because what has happened with it started off great. Now we got redundancy going on, and we want to thank everybody, for joining us. Okay, Cat, you worked in, Sarge is lumped up. They putting ice.
Everybody, according to you, everybody does that to me. I never want to fight on this show. Ever.
It's
Sarge.
It might be you might be just a teeny weensy bit by it.
Okay, but Sarge.
Tell Sarge to relax.
Sarge, you've been a contributor to this show. You know what I'm saying, and we thank you for it. Okay, we thank Joe Gibson. We thank Sister Headception. We thank Brother Che. We thank Sister Akshita, all those, over the years that we've been doing this. We thank Kat, from coming on and whatnot. And one thing I would say in my closing comment is there's never a dull moment here. Now, what I got to do, ladies and gentlemen, is go through a painstaking task, and it's going to be a severe pain in the ass. And I got to save all these episodes, you see what I'm saying, to move us to another platform. So, in my closing, And we got like about 3.5 more weeks left before Blog Talk shuts down. And then to find out, and you might as well let your boy Joe get to know as well too, Sarge. It's that Blog Talk now, ladies and gentlemen. They are invested in Spreaker, okay, to find out off of research that I've done recently. So now I got to go through the painstaking task to see if how we can move our episodes over to Spreaker. And then there's another brother, you know, that does a live feed that shouted us out. Okay, Brother Che, you still with us?
Yes, Shabaka, the episode is over.
Thank God.
Brother Che.
Shabaka, the episode is over.
Lady Che.
The episode is over, Shabaka.
Well, the one thing I would like to say, though, before we go, Shabaka, there were less than 8,000 black men killed in the Vietnam War. That many black men are killed. More than that are killed every year as a result of homicide in the United States. But all the years of the Vietnam War, less than 8,000 black men were killed in the entire Vietnam, Southeast Asia theater. And from 1965 to 1973, 8,000. That many black men are killed every year in the United States as a result of homicide. Every single year or more.
The
show is over.
Thing to make it seem like, you know, it's not prevalent that they were, you know, the draft were only 1% run by black people when the draft was set up in that period. And 23% of black troops.
Alrighty, I'm out, ladies and gentlemen. The show is over. I'm out. Thank you for joining us, chat and what have you. The show is over. So now we're just ghost talking. Okay, thank everybody for joining in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Fucking madness. Madness right there. Like, dude.
What the hell was that?
Oh, man. You know, it's your show. Shit, you tell us. Fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
Fucking disturbing.
Lady Che said, okay. All right, I'm going to end the stream now.
Finally. Shit. Hey, call me or hit me up or something, actually. Or stay in the fucking studio for a second.
Okay.
Peace. Boys, I got updates. Probably do something because I just beat an ass today. It's in the air.
I got to end this show. Hold on.
Tell Shabaka to get off the phone.
Shabaka, hold on.
Jesus, man. See?
Right, thank y'all for tuning in to this season 9, episode 47 of Shabaka. And we're in Rising with Shabaka in the shows. We got tomorrow with Frontline Black News.
I'll catch the replay. If I do that anymore.
In the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook.
Face value and share the good with me.
Facebook and Twitter.
He's still talking.
Peace, love, light, reparations, and separations of Black empowerment. Tan Krumah signing off from the Mile High Income. And Lady Che signing off from the.
Is Sarge still talking in the back?
No, it's over.
Who's talking in the back?
It's over. Peace.
Well.